Hey, we live, baby. Oh, shit. Okay. Stream health is excellent. Excelente. Stream health is excellent. Stream health is excellent. I guess the mic isn't terrible, but it'd definitely be better. Kinda want to have the Spawncast up while I'm streaming. I wonder if that'd be too distracting. Hopefully it's not too loud. Okay. Crack one open for the boys. Yeah, I think I drank a little bit too much Fireball last night. Had to fight some demons this morning. But we back. Weez is back. Also got some sample gamer sups in the mail today. I tried the pineapple something. That's not bad. Not a huge fan of pineapple, but I like it. I suppose I should start the search because it usually takes forever to find a game. Well, not forever, but it takes a little bit. I always have to mentally prepare myself to start playing a game. Oh, shit. Oh, what is that gonna do? Double bling. Fucking Brendan. Danny DeVito would make a good Tingle. Oh, I wish I had 2 screens. Actually, now that I think about it, why not just use my work phone? And bam, I got a bigger freaking chat screen. Ooh, I gotta turn down my volume though.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 287.
Oh shit!
Got a bunch of stuff to go over tonight, and as always, I'm joined by a bunch of fun people. I'm sure I'll have some good conversations. Right, let me go over here, starting with MVG.
Hello, hello. It's great to be here.
Hello,
Good to have MVG here. We have Nate the Hate. How we doing?
Good. It's a good week. History was made. Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs in the regular season, marking a new record for the American League in home runs. So 61 years, 61 stood.
Not Major League Baseball though. Just one league.
Just the American League. The Major League Baseball and NL record will remain
Herp
Barry
Witch.
Bonds.
Oh no!
But that's not really. But a lot of hardcore baseball people don't think that Aaron Judge is the new all time because Barry Bonds cheated, right?
I mean, that's a debate many will have for, months and months, years and years to come as to who is the true king. But when they interviewed Aaron Judge said Bonds, that's the real record. So
none of this makes any sense. I have no idea what any of these people are.
Well, congratulations, Nate. Are you getting some kind of memorabilia for it? A shirt? A poster or something?
I have the memories of a fantastic offensive season that the New York Yankees had in 2022.
You've been seeing them commercials on TV. They're like, get the Aaron Judge home run commemorative bat. I'm like,
What is that, Sports Illustrated?
I don't even know.
Imagine seeing ads.
Why do they keep pitching to a guy that's 6'7"?
That dude's he's way bigger than everyone. It's not fair.
Yeah, like why do you keep pitching to him? Like that makes no sense. It's like, oh yeah, look at this 6'7" guy that should be playing in the NBA or something or NFL. Let's throw the ball to him.
He was a football player in high school and colleges looked at him for football and he chose baseball because he liked it more.
Yeah, sports guys.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, sports guy.
We got OJ players. How we doing, OJ?
All right, so the Bulls, they had a good. No, I'm joking.
Where we going,
What's up, man?
guys?
Good to be here. Shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for coming out to the Spawncast. Pretty sure we get in talk about anything but sports and stupid stories of me when I was younger. Getting beaten up or chased, or my dad beat me with the edible with the stick or something like that. So it was fun.
Yeah, make sure you check out OJ for the pre-show. Got that rolling every weekend ahead of the
Just John, please don't Draymond Green. I don't want to get Draymond. Okay, just relax.
Oh,
we got Jordan French.
I'm glad to be here. It was a very historical week.
I'm
Pro
distracted.
Shop reporting has been absolutely all the rage. So it's been so incredible to see. Cornhole is on the cards as well. I watched ESPN the Ocho. It's fantastic. So,
There's some weird stuff in there.
glad to be here. I only watch World Tournament Tag. Everything else is a fake sport.
We have
I think it's real.
I know. I watch it. Unironically watch World Tag.
What's that one girl? Or what's that one dude? That rapper with that crazy girlfriend. She was like a world-class athlete in that tag thing. What's his name? Blueface? I don't know what his name is. Anyway.
we got Dreamcast guy. How we doing, Max?
Good. Good tag and back.
Uh-oh.
We got Evan, and we have Artie K85 Sean. Sean, you got
Sorry, sir, but I am
Yeah, we'll
too
do that.
good.
The show, usual bullshit. And unlike OJ, we are gonna fucking talk about the New York Knicks, the 2-0 New York Knicks. They got a point guard, Jalen Brunson. Is he Obi Toppin fucking yamming on people in the preseason on that little McConnell fucker from Indiana, that scrawny little white bitch who fucking beat the Knicks like 4 years ago on an overtime game, got fucking yammed on. It was so satisfying.
Sean, what are your thoughts?
Damn.
What are your thoughts on Obi?
Whoa.
Fucking street legend. The fact that that's his name is amazing.
I love how the commentators are like, that's the man's name. Don't tweet at me. I don't want to hear about it. I'm just saying the man's name. So like, leave me alone.
Good comment.
Everyone's Twitter. He knew Twitter was coming for him already.
And everyone's like, this guy has to have a jersey because he would sell probably $1 billion worth of jerseys.
Oh yeah, I'll buy
Just
one.
sit on the bench and sell them. Yeah, people will buy them. Oh man. Sean, I brought you up last because you have an announcement to make.
Yes. I'm gay. No. I have a Steam Deck.
Aw,
What about
snap.
the Steam Deck?
You got a Steam Deck?
Sean hasn't said it yet. He's basically throwing a switch in the trash.
You say like, Switch is now irrelevant.
Oh,
It is. I talk about it in my video. It does. I will say the Steam Deck does kind of change my perception of a lot of things when it comes to handheld gaming. I'm not going to necessarily say portable gaming because I don't think the Steam Deck is a portable system, and I explain why.
oh shit, I'm going the wrong way.
Jesus Christ. But I'm extremely impressed with it. Extremely impressed. Just playing games on it is just, it's crazy, dude.
Do you throw your switch in the video?
It's a scripted throw. There's a safety area.
Like a run. But yeah, Sean was funny because he just realized all of a sudden that Steam has like $7 games.
Yeah, I just buy shit. I'm gonna buy some more shit tonight because I got the 256 and I got a 512.
This is the dumbest fucking ult.
Okay.
I swear, it's so dumb.
It is. A lot of good
No,
games.
it's not. I was wrong about the Steam Deck because I was never wrong about it. I always said it was
That's
That's the title. I'm using that title. Mine's coming in the mail next week. I'm stealing that title.
That's what he said I was gonna do. I kind of like mine now.
Okay.
I think mine is good. No, the video will be up tomorrow, like on at I think
Oh,
Very good. So tonight we have some stuff to go over to the Super Mario movie. PlayStation and PC, since that came up, and basically kind of goes back to what we've been talking about here for a while. I think basically confirming the past 2 years is what myself and I'm sure many people have said. The Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, which is kind of weird, and I did throw in Need for Speed Unbound because Sean showed some interest in it, and I know MVG likes Need for Speed. So I put it in. I'm excited for Need for Speed Unbound, but we will talk about that. Look at that. Have an interesting Discord question.
What's your single favorite retro game?
Oh gosh.
Mega Man.
Retro box art.
Which Mega Man? The original
The
one?
first one.
The big dude with the pistol?
oh
yes.
yeah.
What's a good box? Oh man.
I gotta say, classic Final Fantasy VII. Just that him staring up at the Shinra headquarters.
That is a
and
good one.
stuff.
That is a good one.
I like
I'll-
the. Go ahead, John.
I was gonna say Ocarina of Time Gold Box. It's one of the few boxed. Actually, that is the only boxed N64 game I have, just because I remember when I first got it.
Okay, you only have one boxed N64 game?
Yep.
N64 looking kind of. That's it.
I mean, they're paper boxes, OJ. I have two.
I'm just saying.
I have two Super Nintendos. You know how many boxed NES games I have? Zero.
Listen. I just read it. Okay, I feel you, my man. I feel you.
Shit.
Stick with me, kiddos.
What were you saying,
I'll
MG?
protect you.
I was gonna say I really liked the Japanese Mega Drive cartridges, so like some of the artwork they did, and the one that stands out for me is Makamura Super Duels and Coasts on the Mega Drive. The Japanese cover is sick. I love it.
I got this one, guys. This is my favorite.
I'm trying to
Bart
think of like.
Simpson and the Space Mutants. Look at this cover.
The game is terrible though.
This cover was incredible back in the day. You thought this game was good. You got
You got tricked.
Bart.
I mean, Turtles in Time had a great cover for Super
That
NES.
was good. That was
And
good.
if we do any region, I mean, look at Chrono Trigger from Japan.
Oh yeah, I have that complete in box. It's good.
That's beautiful.
Fucking
cover
crap.
art.
Oh, look at Bionic Commando. Look at that. That was incredible box art back in the day. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
We have another one, Evan?
It's a very plausible way to make a 3D Mega Man in the current game.
Yeah. They got 3D Mega Man?
Possible. I can't imagine the pitch, but I'm sure Legends.
Didn't he?
Legends 3.
He would have to
Yeah.
do something with Legends, probably.
Didn't he?
I just don't
I
know
missed it.
how well that would work.
I mean, with the way it works, if you consider Mega Man as like a game style, I don't even think anything past like the X series and stuff is like a Mega Man game. So like at the end of the day, you're just putting Mega Man in another universe, like Vanquish, but with Mega Man. Like it would be perfectly fine.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But the level design would have to be a bit different, you know. But you can just do something like Vanquish.
It feels like a Mega Man Legends or 3 Mega Man might be more of a budget than Capcom 2. That property right now.
Capcom, they like Jade for
Yeah, they pulled that, unfortunately.
Thank you.
I'd like to see them do something again
you.
with Mega Man, just Mega Man X. Do that. Do something really cool looking for 2D. Go from there. I feel like Mega Man 11 sold well enough to where they're looking at it again. Evan, yeah, I thought it sold pretty well for him, considering how much. I mean, how much money do you think it really took them to make? To me, if it sells over 1 million copies, they're probably like, oh, okay, well, that works. I have to look to see what the sales were for Mega Man 11.
It was a little over 1 mil.
Yeah, as of June 2021.
I think
As long as they keep the budget low,
which is why we need to probably look at
Oh, he uses.
That's what I'm thinking. Because I can't imagine. I don't think Mega Man Legends sold a ton. Like, I don't think I've put up sales charts or anything.
No. So they just made them just because. But I mean, I don't know, man. I think that like for
That
that
was.
so we do Mega Man, then we get a new Mega Man, and then like 1 million across 15 platforms. It's like, man.
2D. I think the 2D stuff is like people are kind of beyond the 2D. Like they didn't even want to charge $60 for a Mega Man 2D game probably. Like the fact that Metroid Dread even was like incredible thing that got $60.
Remember the Mega Man games, like Mega Man 2, 9?
Yeah, 9 and 10.
Those are actually better than the new Mega Man. I think they overall suck.
Those are pretty cheap too, weren't they?
Those were cheap. You're right, they were cheap.
Why is he go?
That early
I don't
novelty era,
understand.
people talk about this now, but that early Xbox Live era, Castle Crashers and stuff, you kind of bought games just because it was interesting to buy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I bought Mega Man, the Mega Man ones. I bought them day one there, and just I think everyone was hyped at that point. We were getting like, you know, a lot of the next and forth, like kind of like the new way that we see media right now. That was all starting at that point.
get this one off. And do you think consolidation for the video
What?
game industry is good
What?
or bad?
I guess maybe I get hit by that and a grenade.
I think it'll be good in the short term because I think some of these
I'm getting
overly
blasted.
creative
8 deaths.
studios maybe need a little bit of reining in, but it will definitely be bad in the long run.
Yeah, I mean,
It's hard to say. I don't really know. I don't really know the answer. Like, there's definitely some really positive things about it that you can't
Not
just
mean to
discount.
fall off.
You know, I also kind of agree with Max in that it could be a bad thing in the long run. But I'm quietly optimistic about making this go.
yeah.
I wish there was an easier way to get up
Depends on-
there.
I guess we would buy it too, because for example, if Amazon or Google had, imagine if Google had bought a big publisher for a push
Man,
for
I'm
Stadia, and they're like,
Okay.
maybe not. Like, what if they came in and bought Take-Two or something?
God, like,
And now we see Stadia going away, and they're like, I guess we'll.
no,
this
he
for now.
tried.
So that's the thing. It's like consolidates down, and then something fails.
I don't think in Matt this situation, that you would see a company like the size of Take-Two all of a sudden be shuttered just because its parent company decided to close down its console initiative.
It's possible. I mean, look at HBO Max or whatever.
God damn!
Millions of dollars of movies that were made and set and ready to go, and in order to write it off on their taxes, they had to delete the data, even the raw data. The Batgirl movie is gone. There are 0 copies in existence. They deleted even the raw takes because that's how you have to write it off as a loss. So if one of these companies bought something like Google Stadia, or if Google bought something to put on Stadia and then just canned it, they would literally delete all the games they own.
Wait a minute, you telling me they took it out of people's digital library that they had bought?
Well, what, like, so
didn't
in some cases, yes. In some cases, like,
Oh, weird. Hold on, you can take it out of your digital library? Huh.
isn't that fun? Yeah, this is the fun digital future. There were screenshots of some company went under and they asked Amazon to take down their stuff off the server, so people were having movies they had owned for like 10 years disappearing, and you can't even
Fucking
refund it.
crazy, dumbass enemy.
Let's talk about the Super Mario movie. We had a direct for it. It was simulcast at New York Comic Con as well as showing basically the world through the direct. And there were a lot of people tuned in for this. About a 2-minute trailer. And we saw Bowser, we saw Emperor Bowser, and Mario. Big characters, obviously, in here. And for the most part, I think I'm pretty happy with what they saw. I say saw
Like,
because
they have
the
3
controversial
melee
part is what they
characters.
heard with the Mario voice with Chris Pratt. But
So annoying.
for the most part, I'm pretty optimistic about this movie based on what we saw here. But let's go around. What do we think of the Super Mario movie trailer?
Fuck Chris Pratt. I think I'm so annoyed because not only did Chris Pratt do the worst voice, every other language, every other translation, the French guy killed it, Japanese voice, all those are good. Only the English voice did like, yay, we're in the Mushroom Kingdom. And I see weird Nintendo people on Twitter being like, oh, maybe that's just the opening line and he gets more boisterous. Why would they put the flattest, shittiest line in the first trailer? I think this is his voice the entire fucking movie. Fuck Chris Pratt.
He had 9 words. I think we do need to see a bit more.
Yeah.
No, I'm done. I'm done. I don't even know.
But I mean, the thing about Mario is, it's not like he has these long vocal diatribes in his games or anything like that, where he's doing like speeches and stuff. I kind of look at it more as just like using the Captain Lou Albano voice from Super Mario Bros. Super Show, which Pratt still isn't really necessarily nailing it,
I
but
hate-
definitely thought it could be. It sounds like
hate
Pratt
Barbatos.
doing New York accent, which
He said it was unlike anything we've ever heard.
I mean,
Why is the French actor actually acting it? Why is he like, here we go? But only in English is it like, yay, here we go. Of
course.
That's my thing. He's the flattest.
I think the trailer, whatever they're going for, based on some context clues, it seems that obviously Mario got a place there, and even the little teaser seems like he's just like constantly running away from stuff, and maybe not from there as well. It could be pulling some sort of Jumanji or two brothers that fucked into the world of Mario somehow, and they're separated and like they're, come together, something like that.
that's exactly.
God fucking damn!
Mario's origin storyline is that they were 2 brothers who found a warp pipe accidentally on a plumbing job and ended up in the Mushroom Kingdom. And if you watch the Lou Albano in the cartoon show, you would see that the entire narrative of that show was them trying to find a warp pipe back to Brooklyn. So that
Walk
movie
right
was actually
into it?
homage to the original story that has been
Damn it, I
ignored
should've
for the
just
last
passed that.
25 years in terms of Mario narrative, in terms of games. So that was nice to see them going back to the roots. Pratt's voice, yeah, we do have to hear more of it. It just, in that initial showing, it just wasn't powerful enough to say, that's great. And I'm not looking for a 1-to-1 match with Charles Martinet. Like, I don't want that from the Mario. As Sean brought up, like Lou Albano, Bob Hoskins, you just wanted a little more of that New York sound. And he didn't deliver it in this particular trailer.
They
Now,
kind of whitewashed Mario, is what you're saying.
Did you see it? Somebody posted a TikTok. It's like a TikTok going around the most New York guy ever, and he's eating a sandwich. He's like, man, this is greasier than your sister's hands when she's giving massages. Ooh, I could snort a line of this good old panini. And people were like, I want this guy to be Mario.
I do think we need to hear more of him, but he just didn't stand out, especially when you hear Jack Black as Bowser, and then you hear Keegan Michael as Toad, and it's like, okay, these are like legit voices here that we're getting. I mean, in the beginning, the animation looks great in this movie. It's like next level stuff. Like Illumination obviously is going all out with Nintendo, but I like Bowser in the beginning. Looks really powerful. Blows up the entire castle. They do the fun little thing with the penguins, throwing snow at them, and I like the 2 minutes we saw here of it. So it does seem like Miyamoto is heavily involved with this one. So I think we'd probably even get some cameos that we're not expecting, and in the backgrounds maybe you could have like, I don't know, just some random Little Mac character back there or something. But I think it's gonna make sense to people who actually play the games, and it won't be like that Super Mario movie from the 90s.
We also have to see how main, like where's Donkey Kong fit into this? How are they going to show Donkey Kong's involvement? What other characters are going to be there? Because at least as far as that, we know Donkey Kong is Seth Rogen. So.
Yep. This is in April, but April 7th, so we're not too far out. It's 6 months. I'm gonna go see this one in theaters. I don't know if you guys can go out and see streaming or something, but this is
God damn it.
yeah. So you're gonna be the only one that doesn't go out and watch it.
After that,
Yeah, they will come find you, Sean. You'll click play on that website, and 5 minutes later, somebody
They know how to find me.
Didn't they find you for Dread?
They know how to find me.
They came looking for you.
The real question is, are they going to do an after-credit scene where he gets a Smash Bros. Into I legit think so. I legit think so.
I do wonder if they're going to set up some sort of sequel though after credits or something like that.
Thank
And do some sort of
on.
deal or something.
We're gonna make $1 zillion off of this film.
This movie is going to make a lot of money.
What's going to happen at the end, the end credit scene after Mario
Let me
defeats
out.
Bowser? It's going to be this little Bowser Jr. who comes and sees his dad defeated, and he's going to vow his vengeance on and get Mario.
I'm guessing.
Part 2, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Jordan, you said how is
Oh.
involved? I mean, could they do this after Mario kind of Donkey Kong or something? So could it be like Donkey Kong's like, oh, I remember you. You know what I'm saying? Could it be like that type of story or something like that? Like, you remember what you did to like my pops or my grandpa or whatever?
Well, wasn't in town, because I was looking at the movie poster, in town, wasn't there like a DK store? So I think it's going to be whenever they go to town, I think
Oh my god.
the guy who explains the world. Because, you know, in every isekai, any fish out of water thing, you have that like lovable character who's like, hey, how's it going? So maybe they could do homages, but I think they're not even going to do the Donkey Kong complex.
So you think in the beginning it's going to be live action, then it goes into animation, it's going to be animated? No,
Animated, yeah. But it is weird. Anybody think it's weird that Jack Black, like Bowser, does look a little bit like Jack Black, and it's cool looking. But then Chris Pratt Mario looks a little bit weird to me. Just, I'm not even hating. It's a creative choice, but it looks a little bit weird.
I hope the first shot in the movie is Chris Pratt waking up.
I hope they don't give Chris Pratt another half.
Where did he go?
With some sort of sequel to the Lego movie. Like that was the trope in every animated film.
What are you thinking here, MBG? You liking this?
Of course. Come on, people. What happened? Like, we were doing so good, and all of a sudden, we're just getting our fucking asses kicked.
But I definitely want to hear more of Chris Pratt's voice. But I don't think it really bothered me as much as it did some people. And Max, you didn't care for it, and you know, I get it. But I thought it was fine. But you know, it's also, I will say, he could easily just fuck it all up, you know, when we see a bigger dialogue, right? But I thought the couple of lines he spoke, at least in the little teaser thing, was fine.
Says the gun tank.
Highest grossing video game movies worldwide. #1 is actually Warcraft. I did not know that.
Yeah, 'cause of
439
China.
I
million.
believe it. That was
Huge
decent.
China.
That was a decent movie.
439 million. A
I don't know
lot of
about that one,
Illumination. A lot of the stuff that they've worked on gets to or crosses $1 billion. Like Illumination, their stuff with like Despicable Me and Minions, that sort of things. Do we think that the Super Mario movie has $1 billion potential?
Yes.
Oh, easily.
I don't know. Okay.
Didn't Sonic 2 do 400 mil?
It did 400. Sonic 2 did 404 million.
This will do a bill.
There's so much
Billy.
generational like love for the character that
Right.
families like fathers, grandfathers even are all going to be involved in going to see this film. So
Okay.
It's always hard to guess the normie demographic because you don't know. Like, obviously, Sonic fans are gonna watch Sonic 2 15 times while hugging a Sonic plushie, but it's like, I know there's Nintendo fans. Obviously, the Nintendo Switch is selling, but I'm just curious to see how many randos off the street are gonna watch this movie. Because if it hit the billion, I'll be
Everyone
shocked.
knows Mario, basically, right?
Yeah.
Mario's like the Mickey Mouse for video games, basically.
Yeah.
Everyone has either played like the original Mario or played a Mario game. Like even my mom, she's played a Mario game. You know, she's not and she even asked me about it. Like, oh, you know, I saw that come across her like her timeline on Facebook. So it's like I think there's gonna be a lot of normies and a lot of people that aren't core gamers that are definitely going to get into this. And I think that's where some of the behind the scenes, but that's where
Yeah, run away to your fucking little health ball.
has 8 million followers on Twitter. Like that's incredible marketing. I mean, you know what you have to pay to get a sponsorship or something by Chris Pratt. It's going to be a lot, you know. So I think that's where that comes into play. Because there's some people that will just watch anything he does, no matter what. Like they'll just watch everything.
Illumination's also really good at marketing for all their Despicable Me films, and then the Minions movie, and then that kind of they also play into the memes online. So like with the second Minions movie that happened this summer, there were large groups of like friend groups that just dressed up in suits.
Thank you.
And I've already seen people. What are you guys going to do for the Mario movie? And I guarantee we're going to see waves of people dressing up in overalls going to see the Mario movie. And the same way, it's going to cause people to talk about it. It's going to be all over every social media. It's going to be really well marketed.
Shout out to Pyro here who is the Koopas and Goombas floss dancing in the movie.
I want the Super Mario Brothers Super Show dance. With your arms from side to side to the Mario.
Dude, I mean, Miyamoto's involved in this. We could see some weird callbacks and stuff. I mean, the knowledge is there if they want to.
Do we think
Just
because
run past them.
Illumination likes to specifically do like the villain song in a lot of their movies, do we think that Jack Black is going to do one? Because Jack Black likes to do a dance number in a lot of his movies, and he's a very, very good, obviously professional singer. I would love to hear a thousand songs.
One of the early
Where? Why isn't anybody pushing? Where is everybody?
But that could have been an early script and it could easily be outdated information.
No, there was Jack Black just confirmed it like around the release of the trailer that there's musical. It was something like, oh, Bowser's a lot more musical than he thought he was.
Dude, okay, hell yeah. Instantly, I hyped this 10 times. I'll put in the French dub of Mario. Everyone else is speaking English.
I shouldn't have done that.
I'd be okay with that. We'll see.
The real question is, will there be a game?
God fucking damn it!
Rumored 2D Mario game.
Does that really fill what MVP's asking? Is he asking for a Mario game? Or is he asking for a Super Mario Brothers movie?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like a tie-in for the movie itself.
Of course.
I just figured a 2D Mario game gets dropped next to it because it's the most approachable. Like the mainstream. The 3D stuff.
Nice.
I've given like a nephew, I don't really play a lot of games, or the kids, or whoever, a 3D game, and they're like, I don't get it. It's weird at first. They take a while to get used to it. But the 2D one is just easier. Just left and right, jump. So I feel like that's what I would. If I was gonna do it, drop that 2D Mario game next to it, or around it, a month before, a month after.
Actual Chris Pratt, he's scanning his in like the old Mortal Kombat where the actors are
mean, this is a good shot for Nintendo to just bring in people who haven't played on the Switch or things like that. They see Mario, the movie.
Well, I'm dead. We popped his ult, so now we're all dead.
It worked for
God.
company. We just saw Cyberpunk absolutely revive 2077, the Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I mean, 2077 was on life support, and all of a sudden, it now has higher concurrent numbers than The Witcher 3 ever did. Just from this anime that popped up on Netflix. So
Yeah,
I feel
totally
like
unrelated.
I feel like $1 billion movie that we're currently discussing and predicting right now could have that kind of effect on Nintendo's games too.
Or they could just have a limited edition Bowser's Fury game with a movie ticket inside of it or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can do that too. You can do that too. I just feel like that 2D game, if it is a thing, and as it's being rumored, I don't know. It seems like a good time to drop it, but it's Nintendo. They do weird things. Maybe that's when they drop Metroid Remastered. Is the same day the Mario movie comes out. I don't know. But that does make me wonder though. Nintendo clearly is moving in this direction because they have Nintendo Pictures. That website just launched recently, and that doesn't look like a place that's going to be making cutscenes for video games. That looks like a place that's going to be making animations and shows and those sorts of things. I don't know if they're going to do much at all with video games. So let's say this happens.
Biggest kill streak.
Roaring success for Nintendo, $1 billion plus. I mean, you assume one, they're going to do a sequel for the movie. That seems obvious. But two, do they start looking towards some of their other IPs that can either work to revive or improve some of their video game sales from, as we're seeing? I mean, we're getting a Medium TV series, The Medium.
I know, so weird.
That's getting a series. So it seems like everyone's just taking a shot, because I assume the budgets for some of these series are much less than the video games themselves that have to be made. So it's like, why not? Here's Gravity Rush. Let's see what happens. Do you think Nintendo then just starts looking around at their back catalog, and if they do, what do they get?
Yeah, that is actually a couple questions from Discord. When do we think the next Nintendo IP is going to be announced, and which ones would you be looking for?
Ooh.
That kind of stuff.
I bet.
Let me pitch a weird one.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go, Sean, and then I'm going to pitch a weird one. You do one.
I was just going to say, I could see them announcing something at the end of 2023, maybe early 2024. Like John said, you don't buy this picture studio to do shit for your video games. I mean, they're obviously going to do more. It's obviously something that they're pushing. Hollywood is becoming the video game industry because the video game industry overtook Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it swallowed it up. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely what the plan is.
Okay, what do you got, Max?
I think there's a safe bet. Obviously, they're going to do something Zelda related or something, but I think they could do something really interesting and creative. I feel like there is kind of a groundswell around Metroid, the hype around Metroid 4, the sales of Metroid Dread being under 3 million, but still good. I would love to see a Metroid horror show.
Ooh.
Because I feel like that's one thing that Dread really did, was the trapped isolation of what the heck is going on. Samus Aran is strong, but she's not invincible. And there has been talks of Brie Larson really said she'd be interested in doing some sort of Metroid movie. If they did a Metroid movie in more of a spooky sense,
oh shit! Oh
I think Metroid is a great. I think that would definitely
yo
translate well to the big screen.
No fucking way.
Better, like on Netflix or Amazon.
Yeah, I got it.
It is. I just think that people, if you have somebody, a hot lady in a big mech suit, you're gonna want her to shoot things as much as possible, and some of those Marvel shows kind of stretch out the fun.
Yeah, they could do that, or they could even just do an animated series for it if they wanted to, kind of go that Edge Runner, like the Cyberpunk route for it. But I just get the feeling Nintendo's slowly building in the background. Like, they renamed that studio, I bet, just to build it out for
I can't.
People and make a serious push internally for this stuff.
But have they said the actual intent of the studios?
So good.
No, we're just guessing at it. This is Nintendo Pictures.
Oh, okay.
Well, we've seen in the past Nintendo did the anime short-lived series for Star Fox to promote Star Fox Zero. We saw the Pikmin shorts. So they've dabbled in this before. And if this is just going to be an extension of that, where they're just going to use them as a marketing branch, where they're going to do like a 3-episode short.
That's not even black.
An upcoming game. Could see something like that. Like, I don't see Nintendo Pictures going out of their way and doing huge, big budget releases of like a Final Fantasy Spirits Within for the company. I don't think they're gonna go that far.
But why not?
Yeah,
if the money's there, and you know, they have successful IPs with brand recognition that no matter if you even have a big budget, it doesn't matter. They're gonna make that money hand over fist, and then you can put that into development stuff for other ideas, whether it be games, consoles, movies, TV shows. I mean, they're doing a theme park as well. Like, I think they're finally starting to realize how large their brand actually is. I mean, it's kind of bizarre because as an outsider looking in, everyone can see it clear as day, but I think them as a company underestimate what they're actually able to do. Merchandising, marketing. They're going to have Mario toys at McDonald's to coincide with the movie and shit like that. Like, this is going to be big. And when it becomes big, they're going to want to push for more stuff like this. I don't think it's going to be, I mean, I could be completely wrong. I just don't see them doing small projects with the studio, especially when there's money to be made there.
Pale
Great.
Raider.
I think I like Luigi's Mansion for a movie. Something
yes.
along those lines. Because I think that'd be a great October movie.
But but are you talking Nintendo Pictures making this movie? Or are you talking that they would collaborate with Illumination Studios to make the movie?
I assume there'd be collaborations as well, right? So Nintendo Pictures could maybe work on a series at a time, but I mean, couldn't you go and pitch stuff to Amazon and pitch stuff to Netflix and legitimately just have them bang?
Yeah, but that's a different conversation from what Nintendo Pictures going to be doing. Nintendo collaborating, we've seen this time and time again in the past. They had the Kirby TV show, they had an F-Zero anime. Nintendo has done this stuff before, but them doing it in their own in-house production team would be a major shift. So collaborating, like as Sean's saying, there's a lot of money to be made, but in collaboration, you're not going to be putting forth the hundreds of millions of dollars that Illumination is investing in creating this movie. Nintendo is licensing out their IP and they're having some say in the direction of the film, but they themselves aren't investing all that money into it like Square Enix did with Spirits Within. Square Enix invested tens of millions of dollars, and then when the movie bombed, they were on the hook for that money. If Mario movie bombs, Nintendo's not going to feel any impact from that.
Yeah,
Illumination feels the impact. So this is an apples to oranges comparison here.
You don't think
Nintendo
Miyamoto
production
would feel it if the Mario movie bombed?
I think of course he would, because that's what he's been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
There's levels of collaboration though, and I feel like this collaboration, Nintendo's a lot more involved in it than I think we could really understand. Like the cast was pretty much picked by Miyamoto, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, and you are correct, it is a collaborative effort, but I feel like this is a way to essentially be like a launch pad for the studio. You see how these things operate, you see how these things go, you see what sort of money it brings in, and then you sort of have a litmus test. Okay, well, what can we do beyond this? What can we do in-house that maybe doesn't require people? I mean, you can always get freelance people to come in and out and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, that's just how I see it though.
Things have really changed though. Like now all of these gaming companies are looking to film and cinema and streaming services to push their games and brands and build them. So it's way different, Nate, than I would say when they were making the Star Fox stuff or any of that. It's with all these streaming services that seem to just throw money at everything. I mean, you probably don't have to pay for most of it to make
that's
it.
That's where we've seen Nintendo reach out to others. They had to reach out to Netflix about a potential Zelda series, and the talks didn't. Yeah, they canceled it because communication came out too early, so that didn't end up happening. But for Nintendo to undertake that tier of project within it's something we've never seen them do before in that type of entertainment medium. So whether or not Nintendo Productions and Pictures is going to do those tier of projects is, that's a lot to weigh. Collaborating with Netflix, Amazon, Illumination Studios, or whomever is a lot safer route for Nintendo. Like, we can look at the original Mario movie back in the 90s. The movie was terrible. It bombed. It didn't hurt the perception of the Mario franchise in any way. They recovered just fine. That's going to be the big thing. Is Nintendo really going to in-house do these? I mean, look at some of the successful shows. We can look at Castlevania. Konami isn't doing that themselves.
Sure. What would you like to see?
Konami's not on the scale of Nintendo, though. The way I view it is, it's like comic book companies. Like, you have your Marvels, your DC, the Top Guns, and then you have your smaller tier people who, you know, their movies or their shows or whatever that they put out there are more niche. You know, they're lower budget stuff. Like Nintendo is really one of the top dogs in the video game industry. So I think what they have parlays well into the film universe, whereas a smaller company like a Konami or a Square Enix, which are still big companies, but they're not the size of a Nintendo or a PlayStation or an Xbox or something like that. I think there's more risk for the smaller companies, and that's why they do it. Like I just don't see why they would have this film studio and just do little piddly YouTube shit with it. I guess is my sort of perception.
I just want to mention Square Enix was out of their mind when they made that Final Fantasy. I just want to just say that they were out of their, like even back then. I remember when it was marked. I'm like, this. I wanted to see Cloud fight somebody, and there was all this bullshit in front of me. And I'm like, I'm not watching this crap. I'm not going to the movie theater to watch this crap. Because they were out of their damn mind when they made that movie.
I rode my bike day one. I rode my bike to the movie theater, and the theater was empty. And I was like, "What the?" Like
they didn't put anybody new, and they overthought how popular Final Fantasy actually was to an extended audience. They thought that, oh wow, we sold 10 million copies or this and that. They had a really good run in the PS1 era of Final Fantasies. They thought that they could take advantage of that. And yeah, like I said, nobody showed up. But yeah, they were out of their mind when they made that movie.
I want to pitch an idea to y'all. So, and I have no feeling on this, but how much do you think that these ideas of Mario movies or Zelda movies or Metroid show or whatever, how much do you think that Nintendo is intending for this to go back to game sales? Because let's face it, their bread and butter is Pokemon selling 80 quadrillion copies and stuff like that. And that does seem like partially because of the Pokemon TV show and movies and stuff. Do you think that they are specifically hoping that the next Mario game sells like 80% more copies or something because of the success of the Mario movie? And do you think that if the Mario movie does good, but the game sales don't go up, do you think Nintendo will be disappointed?
No, I think it's a completely different avenue.
Yeah, supplementary income.
Yeah. It's I would like to see. I thought about this. If they did like a Punch Out series, that would be cool.
Oh no!
Let's do that.
Why
not? Let's do a Punch Out series. Who's Little Mac gonna fight? All kinds of.
It's the dream.
Mike Tyson, you get Mike Tyson involved in that?
Yeah, that would actually be cool. To get Tyson involved.
Like Jake Paul.
If I was making a movie,
If you wanted people to watch it, it would be Jake Paul.
yeah, it'd
It'd be an animated movie.
no, you have to do a live action movie.
It'd be cheesy.
Have you seen Creed?
I was saying,
Yeah, it should be animated. It should be a live action.
if Ryan Coogler directed fucking the Punch Out, I'd watch the hell out of it.
What if they animated it like the boxing anime? What's it called?
With all kinds of effects and stuff in there.
That's cool, but come on, you guys know you'd love to see a live. Remember the Punch Out?
Oh my gosh.
The commercials for Punch Out on the Wii. Remember how cool that was when they did like Little Mac, and it was silly and goofy, but it was still cool. Like if they actually made a serious Punch Out.
Oh shit! I thought.
You don't want it to, if you're gonna make a movie like that, you don't want it to be serious. You want it to be lighthearted. Have someone who's a little stronger, kind of like a little bit toned. So they're probably like a Tom Holland going up against.
Yes.
Yeah. I can see that actually being made that way.
Yeah, and I meant like a serious, like actually, like where they take time and effort into the movie. But yes, obviously, Punch Out can't be as serious. I mean, it's the goofiest thing, out there. But yeah, Tom Holland would be great.
Mario movie looking good. Looking forward to that in April. So we'll check back in then. I'm sure we'll have more. We'll see what happens. Just for a question over there.
I guess the last two for specifically this topic. When do you think we'll see the first full trailer for this movie? How much longer before that?
I mean, we were there, but.
Christmas, that's probably when they'll drop. Put the most eyes on it.
You think Christmas? Okay, Christmas time. All right. I mean, we'll eventually start seeing this be played in front of other movies too in theaters, and we'll probably see extended cuts on it too. So, yeah, like you're saying, Jordan, probably Christmas time.
Maybe the Game Awards will have it, and they'll show it at the IMAX screening of the Game Awards.
Okay. We see a like introduction of Donkey Kong or something. Ooh. Okay.
Opens with the Seth Rogen.
And then with the Ice Penguins and Bowser possibly collecting Power Stars, I think this movie will be based off Mario 64.
Oh, because they're collecting stars.
I think it's gonna be 64 wins again. I think it's gonna be its own. Like, I think it'll draw things from a lot of Mario games. Let's take a look at set.
I don't think they're hung up on too much Mario lore, but it's not going to deep dive that world.
Let's move over to the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster first. So we had this was a weird one. It popped up. It was an MP first. Put it out
Like,
there.
why are you over there, not on the point?
Because people were asking me, they were like, "Who's MP first?" So I've used the sources before, and they've had correct stories about that. So they had reported on a list that apparently got out there that was an older list that has been explained, and it mostly covered part of Sony's European branch. If I'm understanding this correctly. But on the list, there was the Horizon multiplayer, which is good because we kind of heard about that a little bit in passing, and now it just looks like okay, I'm working on that. So that's one of the live service games I assume. The Horizon multiplayer.
Oh, all right.
Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered is a thing that's being worked on. No further details, just that it's listed and Guerrilla's working on it. Horizon Zero Dawn came out a week before Breath of the Wild in 2017, right at the end of February. Ridiculous. I remastered for it.
I feel like I'm probably one of the biggest Horizon Zero Dawn fans on the panel. I love the game. I credit the ending. I loved it. It's just not a remaster or like it's fine. I mean, they released it on PC recently. It's sold good on PC. It looks good on PC. They did.
As far as the existence of the project, it's real. Yeah. Horizon Zero Dawn is being remastered for the PS5.
Gonna launch our damn mind.
I mean, right now, a lot of the reactions are purely based on the idea of this project existing. No assets leaked, no release window leaked with it. So it's just a reaction that this project is happening. And to the question of do we really need a remaster of Horizon Zero Dawn, I can debug that with do we need a remaster of Spider-Man?
Well, I can't buy that though, right? That's just packaged in with Miles Morales. I thought you could buy it. No, I had to make the code out of the box.
Yeah, but that was
So, I mean, should we just start like remastering games that already get updates and play great and look great and they hype it up?
Guys, why aren't you on the point?
Not even like not even remaster. They say remake it, right? It's like a remake.
Like, get on the fucking point.
It's listed as a remaster, but we don't know the extent of it really.
But it's enhanced on top of what they already enhanced the game, which already plays I think 60 frames per second.
60 frames. They put it out there.
Yeah. So it's like we get it, but it's like it's only playable on there, and you know, I don't get it. But yeah, some people, no, I get it for some people. Like Sean, I watch your video, and dude, I agree with everything you're saying, but like I don't think that this is a good type of thing going forward.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on
Get out of
this
hand,
too.
you know?
I mean, yeah, it was 5 years ago, right? It came out. Yeah, 5 years ago.
5 years ago. I mean, I just played it, you know, before Horizon Forbidden West came out. I played it. I'm like, wow, this looks good. This looks great on PS5. No big deal. And then also, oh, well, for 70, it's like, why can't somebody just go buy the...
See, that's the thing. Like, let's say this isn't a $70 release. Let's say it's a budget release. It comes in at $29.99. Like Spider-Man Remaster. Will the reactions now differ because you now have
Is that Sean Layden? Is that what's snuck in through the back door?
Bobby Digital style.
Someone post a picture of Jim Ryan holding a controller and tell me you trust him to say something now.
I mean, if they did it for that, then I think people's thoughts will change clearly. But you know,
Here's something that I'm noticing. I feel like this is kind of like a Last of Us situation in which they made the characters from The Last of Us 2 kind of retcon them to look more, you know what I'm saying, like the facial style and stuff like that. They made the characters in the first Last of Us game look more like the characters that they made with The Last of Us 2 with The Last of Us Part 1. I think that's what they're doing with this. Where, because if you look at side by side, you can see that there are differences in Aloy from the two games. I feel like they're trying to retcon
this
it
is
to make
just
her look
ridiculous.
the same throughout, kind of like they did with The Last of Us Part 1.
Sounds like a really cool free pass.
Of course, nobody gets on the point.
You think
Why
so?
would they?
Well, and also,
Why would
we
anybody
now
get
know
on the
they're
point?
doing a Ghost of Tsushima TV show and a Horizon Zero Dawn TV show and stuff. So I think with the Last of Us TV show, the re-release, they have released Last of Us Part 1. I think Sony's just going to do this.
Is it just a director's cut?
That's basically what this is going to be. Because that's what, what's her name? Alana Pierce was saying, like, and obviously she's an employee of Sony. She was basically saying, like, yeah, it updates it so that people can watch the show, go straight into the game, and straight into the second game. But it's like, I don't know. What are y'all laughing at? Let me look at the chat.
It was a super chat.
The super chat about Sean storming a building.
You see, that's like right now the reaction is just purely based on the premise that this project exists with no additional details. So let's say it does come out, it's a nice visual upgrade where it brings it close to on par with Forbidden West. Let's say it is a budget game and it comes out with the way this series has, you know, its luck. It's probably going to come out in May of next year because it just loves to launch about a week before the next game of the year. So it will launch right alongside Breath of the Wild 2 with its luck. But let's say that's like at the absolute earliest, though we have no idea when the game is coming out. Would the reaction be the same of this is a, you know, this is a terrible re-release because it's been 6 years?
But you're talking, the problem with what you're saying is, I feel like you're giving the absolute best case scenario that can happen from this, and everything that's been happening in the Jim Ryan era of PlayStation has not been the best case situation. It's been average to you're out of your fucking mind. So I have, while I think that would be a good sentiment, and yes, that probably would change your perspective, I think a lot of people don't think that's what's going to happen based on the track record thus far as things have been playing out for PlayStation over the past 2 years. There's no reason to believe that that's going to happen. And I think that's the big problem, is that there's an image problem, and each company has their own individual image problem. But I think their image problem right now is maximize and nickel and dime as much as we can, and that's not really the problem with the other two companies that we got going on right now. So I just have no faith in it being a best of situation.
Right, like I can look at this project and I can view it as, you know, Sony looking as though they are creative adventure of already having to remaster a game that has been patched on the PS5 to frame rate, and I can see all those points. It just feels as though the reaction is premature at this point, given we know next to nothing about it.
Can I ask? I wanted to ask.
That sucks, Zaku.
How much resources do you feel? Because I think that's where some people get upset. It's like, well, we don't have Jack, we don't have Sly, we don't have this, we don't have that. This amount of resources. Some people say, well, it's not that many resources just for a remake. How expensive do you think something like this would be based off of like The Last of Us or like as a developer? Where do you, does this take away from potentially getting something else because of those resources being used in manpower?
Well, yeah, it does, OJ. I mean, I don't know the size of like Gorilla.
Yeah, what's the point? Might as well just leave.
But this would definitely be I would say a medium-sized team, and I think the effort to remaster this game, let's assume that they're going for a similar type of thing as what they did with The Last of Us. I would say that's at least 18-month to 2-year development job. That's not insignificant. So whatever that translates to in millions of dollars, but it would take a team of people to do this, and yeah, I mean, we assume that, you know, there's already other teams working on the mainline stuff, but to your point, you know, you are still taking away X number of resources, X number of $1 million away from potentially another game or a Sly Cooper, as you said, or something else. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's an interesting story to read, especially, you know, trying to justify or trying to understand the thought process there. And I gotta say, it's not something that I'm really getting my head around with this one. Last of Us, I liked it. I defended it, as you guys know. I was probably one of the only ones on the cast that did. But I could see why they would do that with The Last of Us. For Horizon, I'm not coming up with much, to be honest. Like, I just feel like, why is this happening now? It just doesn't make sense.
Now, do you think perhaps had Zero Dawn got a remaster, but it released in 2021, that it could, for let's say a budget release, that it could have been viewed as them testing the Decima engine on PlayStation 5 hardware in preparation for Forbidden West? Now that this is going to be in the reverse, that this title is not going to get the pass that it would have had it released before Forbidden West.
That's a good question.
So funny. Like, why is nobody going for the point?
I know what he's getting at. I mean, he's basically saying that they're testing the waters with the Horizon patch before kind of jumping into something
This is
like this.
the
right?
weirdest
I think,
thing. Like,
look,
why
any
are they
developer wants to
playing
get
ranked?
experience. Like, I think all the Sony studios want to be exclusively on PS5, and look, maybe at the end of the day, this is how they get there. It's not pretty, but maybe this is the path that they're choosing to do so. You know, they're basically taking a game from their old catalog and they're saying, okay, we're going to bring this forward to the PS5, remaster it exclusively, and this is how we're going to close the door on the PlayStation 4. So I mean, I don't know. That's
here's my question with this though. Jeff says it's for Jeff Kerr, by the way, says Horizon is about.
I was gonna break that
TV show.
story.
Okay. here's my thing with this. Sony is putting their games on PC as well, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. How do you release Horizon, say, next year on PC again after you just did it a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
I mean,
how does that work?
You can't, or
Well,
you can't without look like an idiot.
You say that, but look at Oblivion. Look at Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made fun of that too.
That's exactly what they did, though. You know, they had that original version, and then they did the enhanced version, and they dropped it on PC, and everyone that has a fast PC and mods just laughed at it and said, "Well, I got a better version of Skyrim than this. I'm not going back to this." But I mean, look, they could do it any way they want to. At the end of the day, they could market it in any way they want to.
It's very strange stuff. I don't really
just
get
call
it.
Just call it the enhanced edition.
There you go.
You know,
Maybe
it's
part of
really,
a bundle.
It's really all about the way they market it.
Yeah, I mean, it can be essentially a director's cut with, you know, the improved graphics to bring it close to Forbidden West tier.
Yes.
But like, when you do view this release, I can see it from the business standpoint of where this makes sense. As Jeff mentioned, they have a TV show planned, so they're viewing this as, we want to introduce that audience to the first game, and you know, it's not in our interest for them to buy the PlayStation 4 version for $9. We want to get them at something a little more expensive. But then I can see it from the consumer point as well, and it comes back to what we had talked about with The Last of Us. If you feel when this new release is actually confirmed and shown and priced and dated, that what is being offered in terms of upgrades is not enough for you, you still have the PlayStation 4 version to default to. You can get the benefits by playing it on your PlayStation 5, and you're no worse for wear. This release isn't going to remove the ability to play the original game, so if it's not enough for you, you don't have to buy it. But from a business standpoint, they want to cater to a new audience, and from a consumer standpoint, you still have the freedom to play the PlayStation 4 version.
But it kind of dilutes it, though, right? Because all of a sudden you've got you've got all these different versions.
Let's just make 1,000 versions of every game and just do little upgrades of it and stuff. Like I get what you're saying, but I don't think that makes it right. I don't think that makes it smart to do, because you know we're mostly talking from the business perspective of this and from the monetary perspective, but there is a perspective of optics too, of how people view you as a company and how you release your games and stuff. And you know, Sony's riding high with the PlayStation 5 right now. There's been a couple, you know, very questionable decisions. And this, to me, if we're talking about a full-on $70 game, like I definitely think we are talking.
It cannot be $70. Oh my gosh.
It might.
I honestly think it will be. I honestly think it will be.
Okay. Go on. Go on.
You gotta
see
look
why
at
it wouldn't.
Yeah, you gotta look at precedent. I mean,
Well, what we had Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, that was 50.
But Legacy of Thieves, did it give you? It gave you Uncharted 4 as well.
I give you 4 and Lost Legacy.
And if you already owned
and if you already owned it, it was a $10 upgrade.
Yeah, if you owned either of the games, it was
when did that game come out?
A year and a half ago.
last year.
I'm pretty sure Sean Layden put he started that. That was his thing, and they stuck with that.
There you go.
That's why they fired him.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that was probably Sean Layden's thing. Okay, everything else. Listen.
I will say if it's $10 to upgrade for Horizon, I don't know if there'll be that kind of backlash for it. Then they'll be like,
Right.
oh, okay, whatever.
Does anybody miss Sean Layden? I really do miss Sean Layden.
Sony employees don't.
I actually like. Oh man.
What about Jack Tretton?
I mean, Jack Tretton was. He was
He dropped
alright.
the mic at E3 one year.
Oh, God.
He was alright, but I think Layden was
Salty
like,
Mike.
the number one, dude, that I thought, because I felt like when it came in like the PS4, the PS4 era was, I think it was pretty solid. The PS3 era was good
Wait,
too. I
Ken
think there was a
JC,
lot,
is it?
You know, but I just think that this era with Sony, it's not terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're putting out stuff, but yeah, it just seems. Sean's videos aren't helping me either. Whenever I watch
because of his
Sean's videos are helping one thing, and I'm like, okay, well maybe it's not. And then I saw Sean's video, I'm like, well, damn, look at. Well, wait a minute here. Wait a minute, hold up. And then I watch MVG, and then you guys are a bit more balanced. I'm like, well, I guess I'm okay. You know?
They lost a damn.
Did we see this?
I mean, I just play the games. Look, I'm not really looking. You know, I kind of stay in my lane with the RPG stuff. You know, like. You know.
Oh, we got all the opinions.
But when it comes to, I'm just looking to see what other people think about Sony this generation, and it kind of seems like it's so off and on. It's like a roller coaster. It's like a crazy roller coaster of, you know, of decisions and stuff. You know, not consistent, and sometimes there's games. Sometimes it's just like it's all over the place.
That's right. I talked about this in a video this week, which is that I feel weird in that I love PlayStation Studio games. I feel like they're firing on cylinders when it comes to storytelling, quality, and gameplay. But the projects are so sporadic, and you have no idea how much they're going to cost. And you have no idea if it's going to get re-released 18 times or if they'll get DLC. It's like, it's much less of a guarantee. Where we all went through the ups and downs of the PlayStation 3. Every game got DLC. Every game they marketed the hell out of it. I don't know. This new Sony is very quiet and very sporadic.
I mean, like, I do find it disappointing from other internal teams that Sony has that we're seeing games that are locked away on the PS3. We have Resistance.
GG.
And those are the type of games
Why?
you want to see make a comeback with a remaster or a remake for the PlayStation 5. The games we cannot play. And it's the that they're looking at with Horizon Zero Dawn saying, let's do this instead of revisiting some of those.
I will buy original. What's this? Infamous 70 full-on remaster.
I bet you Infamous series would actually work too on the screen. I bet you they could make a narrative, some kind of show out.
Not everything needs a damn TV show.
Apparently it does. Look, they're remastering Horizon Zero Dawn because there's a show. We need shows for everything. We need a Sly Cooper show. We need
in a TV show. The media, like
we got a Mega Man show.
If we have to get a show to get a game, then you know what? I suddenly want an Infamous show.
We'll get Netflix on the phone.
It would be pretty. I mean, Infamous would be a pretty cool show. And
Lose 100%.
different Gorilla since they are Horizon. Imagine if they remastered the original Killzone trilogy for PlayStation 5.
And it was like and they did multiplayer on that, and it was PS5 and PS3.
As a multiplayer for a game as a service.
And we might play a game then.
What if they remade Killzone 2 in the fake E3 trailer?
Oh, see, now we're talking. That's a secret. That's a bonus level after you beat the game on the hardest difficulty.
Oh, that'd be cool.
See, I'm coming up with it. There you go. We do. We need the Puppeteer movie so we can get a new game. That's what we need to do from now on. Is just that. But that means whenever we see a movie or a series, we're gonna expect the game. So does that mean that Gravity Rush is making a return? I don't know.
Well, I mean, what are they going to do? Another remaster of the remaster? I mean, I feel like Gravity Rush still looks and plays.
Hey, why not? Hey, we're trying to figure out if we get God of War Ragnarok now or wait for the remaster.
Wait, isn't the original Gravity Rush really expensive now?
Yes.
You just answered it.
GameStop had a bunch of used copies about a year ago, so it drove the price down. But even a used copy was costing about $60. It's far better than when it was $100 plus.
Yeah, definitely.
You might still be able to get it at GameStop.
We think this Horizon Zero Dawn. We think this is out next year. This is gonna drop it. You think?
It's so hard to say. If it's just a quick and dirty $10 DLC upgrade thing, probably. But if it's a Last of Us type of deal, then you're liable for it.
The later, the MP1 was a frustrating for me to play. They said that it's going to update the gameplay to be like Horizon Forbidden West. That's why I think this may be a project that lands in 2022.
Phone and dodge.
Yeah, exactly. She'll also be able to swing golf club.
Evan, we have Discord question over there.
We did have one for this topic of they were just trying to run it through the lens of what happened to Alpha Dream or Mario and Luigi remake for the 3DS. But covered it for the most part. So let's just go. Is Retromania going to get finished, and how does the run games copy out?
MVG, you work for Limited Run, not me.
I do, but I mean, I don't know anything about.
Sean's in the game, isn't he? He told me that. He said, "I'm in the game. I call the shots." Sean, let him
Dude,
know.
you're in the game, so
Shit.
you tell me.
I have no idea. You would have to ask them all that stuff.
They were at too many games, I think, last time.
Yeah.
I said hi.
Yeah. I don't.
They asked where Sean was. Said he couldn't come out and see himself in this game. Sorry. Let me go.
And we lost.
Let me go to the super chats here. Liam says, "Will you guys watch Last of Us show in 2023 or wait for the reboot in 2024?" And we have 3D with a little sticker here. Thank you, 3D. And he says, "Do you think Capcom will ever do anything with the Breath of Fire IP again, or is it just dead?" I don't know. How
Maybe.
Never say never.
Maybe.
Sure. Okay. Kratos says, "Bought a Stadia to keep sealed because of his demise." Yeah, you never know. The museum might need that in 100 years. You never know.
Good paperweight.
I know a guy making.
Snoop says, "Who saw the Persona 4 Twitter thread? I finally understand the topic. Sad, Atlas holds such archaic beliefs."
It's out of context. I did see that thread. If you play the game, it all makes sense. There's arts that seem homophobic and stuff in the game, but if you play the character art, it's sort of saying the opposite. But yeah, there was a thread with some out of context lines that looked bad.
Sean says, "Is any of the Spawncast trying Grounded?" I did try Grounded.
How was it, John?
I played it for, actually said I played 3 hours. I did my best. I am not really do not like survival games, but I gave it a good try. No one else on the podcast would jump on with me.
You never told me when you were playing. The guy just hops on. He's like, "Oh, I need to play a co-op." Plays by himself.
I can try it again. I'm willing to. It's better now because they have a story, there's a narrative portion to it, and it tries to at least walk you through the structure of a game, rather than before they would drop you in and make your own fun. You can still do that, but it's a bit more streamlined now.
That seems like an Evan game.
It kind of does. I was playing that. I'm like, this seems like a game Evan would play.
I watched some people play it.
Why can I?
Really impressed me in the direction I would play a survival game. That didn't seem fine enough. I was thinking more Mirage.
It kind of has a bit of a Minecraft vibe to it. You're building your bases out.
And I love Valheim for what it does.
There you
But
go.
I don't know. Grounded just didn't seem interesting to me for some reason.
I gave it a shot. It's just not my kind of game. I can understand. I mean, the visual actually looked better than I was expecting. When I was like, oh wow, visuals, this looks pretty good. But I did get killed by a big wolf spider, so that happened. And that's about it. I did go in an anthole though, so I could get like some kind of sap or something. But I built one portion of a base, and I'm like, I'm going back to Geofield now.
Good choice.
But it was just me. It was very lonely. No one else would play. So I tried. I gave it a shot. No one else on the podcast would join me. It's definitely not me.
He didn't ask. He did ask. And we were like,
He said download, and I said I will, and then he never said he was playing the game.
I'm pretty sure I said I'd rather play Halo or something.
Yeah, I'll play Halo.
First it was, "Hey guys, everyone download Destiny 2. Let's all play that." And then he said, "Hey guys, let's all play Grounded. What's next week's game, guys?"
That's why I don't download them. Because I know.
I played Destiny 2 for a little while there, though. I was rolling. I tried Grounded. Grounded was only like 8 gigabytes though, but
I remember when John made me buy it almost for $5 and played it.
it was a really good time.
You were killing everybody, and I'm thinking, it's
him. He tried to kill me, and they're like,
And I was like,
they shoot me out of the ship.
that's because I was like, well, you know what? Nate might have a point. It might be me, and everyone's like, it's got to be Nate.
Stupid
I
ass
like how-
panel.
I think my favorite part of that.
Anxiety.
My favorite part of that was one of the plays where I clearly was caught by.
He was.
And then I gaslit him into the killer, and everyone believed me.
Jordan was definitely caught doing it, and I have no idea how any of that happened.
Everyone always thinks I did it anyways. So.
Well, because you have weeks, but yeah, we can. I'll do it again.
Ruffle says, what are Dreamcast guys' thoughts on blasters in Splatoon 3? I think getting rid of ink armor has made them top tier. Hope the cast is doing well.
Blasters? I don't know. Do you mean like the snipers? Or you mean like ink
The
dualies?
blaster type, if I'm not mistaken, is sort of like that mid-range explodey round, like the sort of mid-range
like the
missile
50
launcher
gal?
type thing. It's like slow
that one.
fire.
It's like a short, like circular, just like blast at you.
Oh, yeah.
Not a lot of range, but it's pretty powerful. Obviously, mid range, close up.
I think it's strong, but I don't use it. I pretty much only use the 52 gal, and I use the like flamethrower thing. I'm super the arrow spray, and I win a lot. I used to use the ink roller constantly, but once I found arrow spray, I use that a lot, especially on tower control, which is my favorite.
This is from Leo saying Sony won't handicap its console sales by doing day-and-date releases. A day one release of a 2017 remaster means nothing. Okay, cool. Let's go into... Oh, and then Future says they just snagged an Xbox mini fridge from Walmart for $80. Very nice.
Nice.
Go into the PlayStation PC stuff, because Herman Holst had a bunch of interviews over the week, and he talked quite a bit about their strategy going forward. Mostly about live service games, but also some about their single player stuff, and even mentioned that the PS4 is going to be around for a while. Sounds like we might be in the end of 2024 and being like, when's that PS4 going away? So it's going to be a little while there. But he did talk about the PC and PlayStation releases, as we've seen PC releases, I mean, just accelerate massively. We are seeing PC announcements from Sony left and right, and we're still waiting for things like Returnal to show up, and that's clearly leaked out. So at this point, what Herman Holst has now said is that they're going to be doing some live service games that are going to release day one on PC and PlayStation same time from PlayStation Studios. So that is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Max, I've been saying this for years.
Yes.
It's finally happening. I see confirmation now from Mr. Herman Holst himself.
Yeah.
And they did though say that single player games are their most profitable ones still at this point. I will challenge them on that if they find success with a live service game, because those make a stupid amount of money. But single player titles will be at least a year buffer between PlayStation release and then PC. However, that number continues to shrink. At one point, we didn't know how long. We thought it'd be years, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Now it's down to nearly a year, according to
How's that
Herman Holst.
Bloodborne coming along?
Isn't that the question?
Yep.
What is going on with Bloodborne? How is this not a thing yet?
Tell me.
Well,
That's a
never
good
mind.
question.
A good thing we're getting the remaster Horizon though. Ooh, that was close. So looking at this, I think before the end of this generation, they will have a single player game that's PC and PlayStation day one.
Yeah.
Like their narrative driven game.
I
single
do
player
too.
game?
I think
Day?
so. I think so.
I think so too. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think they
no.
will. I wouldn't be shocked if Last of Us Part 3 was day and date.
No, give me
Yeah.
Wolverine so I can play it on my Steam Deck.
I don't know. That one might be like 2 years to be honest, but
Well, and I guess that's what I'm curious about is I feel like the thing that's going to push it the most is once they if they sell 50 million PS5s or something, to throw out just like a high but reasonable number. Like once they reach 50 million PS5s in like 4 or 5 years, I think I could definitely see them starting to do day and date. Because at that point they're like, all right, everybody with a
I want
PS5
a
is going to buy
waifu
this
cup.
anyway, so let's just throw it on PC for free money and then do one advertising push, you know?
well, I mean, let's start with this. Do we think the PS5 is going to reach or outsell the PS4?
No.
Okay.
It's PS4 just over 100.
116 million?
The PS4 is going to
No, 100
sell though.
But they've stopped reporting numbers on it.
117 million. It's like 116 and some change, right?
Well, they-
Right?
They stopped reporting numbers. I
Yeah, they
think.
stopped reporting numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they continue to support the system, that's obviously going to be a cheaper alternative towards the PS5. And if games are still coming out for it, I think the there could be an interesting, you put together a PS4 bundle or something like that around the holiday season for the next year or two. I think there's a chance that it could still continue to sell. Now, will the PlayStation 5 go beyond that? And it's too early to say, really. I mean, statistically speaking, based on the charts that we've seen, it's tracking very well. But it all depends on what the life cycle is. What's the video game landscape going to look like in 5 years? With the PlayStation 4, I think we all pretty much understood at the start of that generation, towards the tail end of that generation, that we weren't going to have a lot of the big push for cloud stuff and games as a service quite as much as it was back in 2013, 2014. So I think it just depends on what the video game landscape looks like in 5 years and how long they keep that PlayStation 4 on life support, because I think it's gonna, like you said, I've said it for a while, but I definitely think 2023, 2024, you're still gonna have PlayStation 4 games.
I mean, the sales are pretty.
They're behind the PS4. They're tracking back behind it.
Yeah, but the sales are just like the PS4 for them to resurrect that system, because it's pretty much dead. I mean, they sold 14 units in Japan this past week, so I mean, it's
14,
pretty.
geez.
I don't think they're shipping them anymore. Yeah,
They're not even. I mean, it's just not. It's not a thing. I mean, they can still maybe do something, but that manufacturing that you'd put together would definitely cut into what they're trying to do with PS5 in terms of getting the PS5 stock back up, which it seems like that's working right now. So we'll have to see going forward. I mean, it's possible that they reach PS4 numbers. I mean, but obviously they'd have to, it's like Sean said, they'd have to, like we'd have to see how the landscape is.
They have to start accelerating sales pretty quick here soon.
Yeah.
Unless this is a 12-year system or something.
But if the stock is getting better, so
yes.
People are able to get, like, if you go on PS Directs, it was available like without crazy bundles. So if that stock can get better and stay in this type of way that we're starting to see, then I think you start seeing them in stores. I think
there was a rumor Tom Henderson had reported a month or so ago that Sony was looking to sell or ship 30 million PS5s in the coming fiscal year.
I saw that. Ridiculous.
So I mean, that's an insane number.
If they can do that, then that will catch them up, I would say, on the PS4. But they would need to get all that out, and the logistics behind that are insane.
I have had subscribers sending me pics though of freaking PS5s in Walmarts specifically.
I haven't seen it in the store yet. I see it caught it on the PS Direct many times. Like I go on there, it's the Horizon bundle for $550. I mean, it's there. It might even be stocked right now for all I know. Because at one point, for the course of a week, I would just go to the website to check, and it was always in stock. So,
yeah, I gotta buy one for my cousin for Christmas.
If I see a PS5 in store, I will take a picture of it.
Yeah, I haven't seen one in store. I haven't seen an Xbox. The only thing that I've seen is Xbox Series S a couple times. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I still haven't seen a PS5 or Xbox Series X in stores. And the area that I live is super game centric. Like we got a bunch of freaking nerds here because all of our GameStops are still open, so like, and they're all doing fine, so yeah.
So I think they will get to that point though before the end of this generation. Something from their big PlayStation studios, single player will launch on PC and PlayStation day one. And I'm looking at these games, the cost just keeps going up for these games with the expectations. So they need to sell more than 20 million copies on some of these games, I'm sure, and they're not seeing it right now. So they got to look elsewhere as well. Bigger launches, bigger releases, pair them with the TV shows and the movies, and put it on PC. That's really the reason I'm seeing is just there's a breaking point eventually where they got to move to other avenues of revenue, and PC and mobile seem like good opportunities for them. So the thing that's interesting is they are a hardware first company for the most part still. So that's got to be a tough decision on their part to make that happen. So live service makes sense. I don't think anyone was really doubting that too much. So
I mean, live service is tough because we really have to see a meaningful product from Sony release. We can assume the first big game as a service will probably be The Last of Us Factions.
Yeah, definitely.
Hold on a minute. Do you think these live service games are gonna be free to play?
Yeah,
I would imagine in some cases, yes.
Okay, but do you think all of them will be free to play?
No,
I don't think you could come to that conclusion that all of them would be free.
Okay, but do we think that most, if not all, of the live service games they release will be PlayStation and PC same day? Like they'll just put them out there day one. We're gonna do crossplay the whole deal.
I think they will
make sure I have that solidified there with everyone before I go to my next point.
I think they will eventually. I still think this next year. Like I think Factions is going to have an upfront cost, and I think that Factions is going to start on PS5.
Okay, so I can play on my PC, crossplay then
actually
with
unlock
UMax on
this?
your PS5.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully.
Okay. Do I need PlayStation Plus to do that?
Right. That's the question.
Because if I don't on PC, technically then it costs more money to play it on PlayStation.
Well,
if it's not free to play, it has to be free to play.
How do games like Fortnite operate on PlayStation?
It's free to play, so you don't have to have PlayStation Plus.
Okay.
So it needs to be free to play. That's what I mean. That's why I'm thinking Sony is going to have a lot of these live service games just free to play, and does that then, as we heard, dilute the market with a ton of these live service free to play games from Sony? Because that's a weird thing to consider, that you do have to pay on the PlayStation, right, to play these multiplayer games, but then on PC, the people you're cross playing with wouldn't have to. That seems like a strange thing for Sony to work around and communicate as to, like, why.
Well, and especially with these free-to-play games where, let's face it, the point is to entice you into the microtransactions, so you don't want a microtransaction just to log into it, so to speak.
Yeah. So the easiest way around that is just make it free-to-play, but then it's like, are we going to do 10 free-to-play games in the next 5 years or something? 6 years? That's a lot.
I mean, that's what they said, right? 12 free-to-play games?
I thought they did say that they're going to do like double-digit free.
They said they're going to do live service games, and we immediately think live service means it would be free-to-play, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, live service. My bad.
But it could be like Destiny, where Destiny just charges. Like, if that expansion comes out, it's money. If Destiny 2 comes out, when that did it, you had to buy it.
But Destiny's free to play though, now, right?
Now it's free to play, yeah. So they kind of transitioned off of that. But it's this weird thing that I assume Sony has to bet. We need to see some of these live service games get an idea, but that was something that kind of came to mind when they said that. I'm like, well, the PC isn't. They're not doing the PlayStation Plus stuff, so it's something to think about there. It's interesting.
Like one of the games that leaked this week for games as a service is the Horizon Online game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now we have no idea what direction this game is going to take. All we could maybe assume is that it's going to Monster Hunter style.
That'd be cool.
Now, if let's say that's free to play, is that a good direction for that style of game, or do you think they would rather charge for it if it is?
Like a Dauntless.
I guess it would depend on, can you play it solo offline as its own product and not rely on online components.
What was that game that came out that was kind of like Dauntless? That was kind of a Monster Hunter-esque.
Wild Hearts? Or you? The upcoming
No,
Dauntless?
it is Dauntless. Yeah.
Dauntless. Yeah. It was like a free-to-play Monster Hunter style game that came out on everything, but I mean, it didn't necessarily light the world on fire because half the people here had no clue what the fuck I was talking about.
I played Dauntless. That's the funny thing is I played Dauntless. I thought you were talking about a game that was like Dauntless that's upcoming. But no, I played it, but no, it's nowhere near as it's nowhere near as good as Monster Hunter. And like the free to play nature, to me at least, it breaks up the flow. Like whenever I start seeing hub worlds and then a bunch of microtransactions being slammed on me and all this type of weird stuff, I just start to kind of reel back a little bit, and I'd rather just go to something like Monster Hunter or just play a big single player game where you're fighting big monsters like Horizon or something like. I'd rather just do that than waste my time sitting there and going through menus and micromanaging, all this type of stuff that they do in these free to play games. Like it's just annoying. There's enough games where I don't have to go out there and spend my time in that when I can just play something else that are cheap too. Like you can go get. There's plenty of games, so that's for me at least with all this free to play and live service stuff. It just I don't know. I'm old.
Well, and that's not even that, OJ. I think one of the things that everyone seems to just forget when having these conversations is for every super successful live service game, there's 20 plus, 50 plus of games that completely fail and the company's lost out their ass on it. So all because something goes free to play, all because something is free to play, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be this big cash cow for you. Right. And I feel like the way Sony talks about their free to play stuff, they're under that impression that all these are going to be huge rounding successes. And it's like, bro, you don't know that.
Hey, Sean, did you see what happened with Babylon's Fall? They talked about it and they were like, yeah, we're going to try it again. That's basically what they said. We'll take another shot at it. It's cool.
It's crazy, man. Like,
I mean,
it's so weird.
I mean, the
to me.
same can be said with non-live service games. There's metric tons of like indie games that come out that no one gives a shit about that actually sometimes are better than regular single-player games. It's just that the highs for games as service games are so much higher than just a regular single-player game.
There's also a weird perception by the community where they'll say, "Oh, this, live service game is dead," and then you actually see the metrics come out, and the game is far from dead. I mean, I'm sure if you had asked people a year ago, "Do you think Rainbow Six Siege is successful?" they'd say, "Who's heard of it?" No, the game only has about 50 million players. But you would have had people say, "No, that game is dead," and it's quite the opposite.
Look at
so there is a perception within the community where because they're not playing the game, they assume there is no active community.
But look at Sea of Thieves. People believe that Sea of Thieves is this massive flop for Rare, and it's like the most successful game they've ever made. It's weird
Polar opposite because they're not playing. Like we could use Grounded.
Oh,
as a recent
okay.
example because no one's on the panel has played Grounded.
Ah.
I played it. I played it when it was in beta. I played it for
2 years ago. That doesn't count. It's actually released now.
Nope, doesn't count.
They put it out in the store for me to play. It counts. Point blank serious.
So, like, you'll have people saying, "Oh, Grounded is terrible," and all of a sudden we're gonna have Microsoft come out in, like June of next year and say, "We have 25 million active players." Well, that's what they say. Oh, well,
I don't think it's a good game. Justin Bieber, look at your top pop artists selling albums and stuff.
Justin Bieber though?
Or like Roblox. Roblox has how many active people like playing that? Is there some crazy amount, and then they go public and they're valued more.
I didn't.
Roblox. Nuts. I don't know if any of you guys have. Well, no, some of you guys have kids, but my daughter is into Roblox, and it's nuts, man. That game is crazy.
I think at this point it's time to drop some of these consoles. It's over.
Actually,
Talk about they're adding in more pay-to-play stuff for your album.
No, dude, have you seen Xbox Live games with gold?
Yeah.
It's time to close that down.
It's been time to close that.
It's time. There's no other benefit outside of them handing you some really old Xbox Live arcade games. Oh, if I read you the selection of games in this past month, it's disgusting. It's time. It's time to close that down.
I mean, that
Microsoft,
is
set the market, Microsoft. Set it.
their goal is once Game Pass gets to a certain subscription number that they will get rid of gold.
Get rid of it. Make it free to play online. I want to see Sony views. I want to see Nintendo looking sideways. I'm ready.
When you started posting about it, I literally forgot about games with gold.
Dude, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
They do a trailer every month. Make sure you subscribe to the
cover it every month.
YouTube channel.
I just heard every month. And it's bad.
Today, Major Nelson comes out. He's a fucking dork. I hate that voice.
What did Larry do to you?
Is he a serviceman? Was he in a war or something? So why the fuck is he called a major?
Why are you called RBT? You ain't covered anything in 35 years.
I fucking just did a Saturn video and the fucking Facebook group got mad at me.
That was weeks ago.
So is John Spawn or something like that?
Yeah. Spawn. How about that Spawn movie that was supposed to have a trailer and everything? How you didn't cover that, John?
John never talked about the.
I don't want to brag though.
Yeah, but they never said it was a trailer, just an announcement. They talked about the
A review
writers.
of the Spawn movie with John Leguizamo.
That's a good one.
I like that movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I watched that with my grandma. That was not a good not a good choice.
I watched
Yeah.
Rambo 3 with my grandma. My grandma loves the fucking Rambo.
We have, let me go back to the super chats here. This is from Clef saying, take 3 Zelda formula and insert Mega Man. Pop Mega Man. Uncharted Wolf says, what's most likely to come back? Jack and Daxter is likely. Another PS4 release from Sony. Also loving the second channel, George.
no.
I'll talk to Spectrum is great, by the way.
Jack and Daxter or Sly Cooper? Which one has the best chance?
Sly.
Sly.
Okay.
Didn't some guy on Twitter say that Sly was getting a new game and then it like never happened?
Oh, that liar? Yeah, I mean, that dude, yeah.
Oh, you're talking
Stuff that
about
one came out and said we're not making one.
I just remember.
Yeah, they're not making one.
Got him.
Could be
What's
the new
Sumo
live service
doing?
game.
Didn't they get bought out by like Tencent or something?
Yeah,
What is
What's,
Sumo doing?
what's Sumo doing, Nate?
What is Sumo doing?
Yeah, that's this
They
guy.
were on that leaked list.
They were on the
Something
list,
called
yeah.
Carbon.
Yeah, if you watch my video, yeah, they
Is
made
that the Carbon engine?
Is it
Carbon.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Can
I don't
Sounds
know.
like a car game to me.
Let's see where they land.
Need for speed
Let's
carbon?
see if they
Well,
get
what?
some
I'll
gold
take
puzzle
that.
pieces.
On that leaked list, do we think that Project Camden is the Silent Hill game, since that's Camden
No.
London something?
Liam says,
Camden, New Jersey, stand up.
oh no. Liam says, is it possible that the Italian voice was avoided in the US due to backlash to those being more prevalent than other countries? Due to backlash to those things being more prevalent than other countries. Oh, if it was like a heavy Italian accent, would that put people off? Or what's the phrase, Sean? Ruffle feathers?
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, it would. The thing is, no matter what you do in any sort of entertainment, you're gonna piss some weird sect of people that you didn't even know existed off. So just fuck them and do what you want to do in your own vision, and realize that you can't please everyone. So don't worry about
I
it.
mean, like, but what, like if you had Michael Imperioli voice Mario and he just
Bum,
talks
bum,
like a
bum,
New
bum,
Jersey
bum, bum,
Italian.
bum, bum,
Yeah, you
Why would
fucking the
that upset people?
gabagool.
Yeah, if you went to go get the gabagool, I mean, who's that going to upset? That's how he talks.
I once stumbled into horse Twitter, and they were complaining that in every fucking movie, when you hear those horses going when they're like galloping and shit, apparently that's the horse noise for "I'm ready to fuck." And apparently horse Twitter gets mad that they use the same sound like that.
I don't know there was a horse Twitter, but horse Twitter needs to go. So
I know, yeah.
Now with horse, what do you think is there? It's horse people.
horse Twitter? You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry, weirdo people who are obsessed with horses and equestrian bullshit. Just I don't even know the horses had a "I want to fuck" noise. But apparently it's everywhere.
All of the producers that don't care about horse Twitter. We just want more horse Twitter.
Fuck horse.
I looked over.
Their opinions don't matter. Let me just
Sean, I looked over and saw this question, and it kind of made me laugh a little bit here because you just talked about this. Shout out to John, by the way, here, John O, with the $99.99 super chat, massive super chat. Appreciate it, John O. Saying, just popping in to say I appreciate you all. Each of you has your own niche and style nailed, and you all helped me through some hard times a while back. Thank you, and keep it up. Question: anyone ever play something while on a treadmill? Help prep the TV competition. All right, Sean, tell us, have you played anything on a treadmill recently?
So I go on the treadmill every day for about an hour. It's in my living room, and I've come to realize that Halo Infinite Big Team Battle is actually really fun. I usually do the social stuff, but sometimes I won't do it. But Halo Big Team Battle is really fun. I think it was yesterday I was playing it, and sometimes you get a little bit off, like your center of balance gets off because you're in a first-person perspective. And yesterday, I was going and I was just playing. I was going on the treadmill and I just stepped kind of funny, and I ate shit, dude. I fucking
Did you hit the treadmill and it like sent you flying backwards at the same time? No, I went off the side.
Because I was kind of like my balance was off a little bit. It's tough, dude.
That's the best when you fall on a treadmill and it's still spinning, so it just walks you backwards. I played all the way through Tales of Arise on a treadmill. That was a pretty good amount of time too. And I played
That tells about that game. All I gotta say, that tells you about that game. That you can play through that game.
I played through Tales of Arise, and I also played through Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on the treadmill. Played through both of those. And I played through like probably 30 or 40% of Death Stranding.
I don't know
I did DMCA up real quick. Nate, I'm gonna need you.
Yeah, beautiful boys, my God.
Dear God, Nate.
Fucking, I was super addicted to Slay the Spire, but I made it a point to only play it on the Twitter with each Twitter. Horse Twitter only. No, I made it a point to play it on the treadmill, and I would just do it consume me an hour to beat the game, so I played it.
That's one of the best things you can do though, is get a game and only play it while you're in the treadmill, and that'll actually motivate you to be on the treadmill. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Just take the treadmill and literally push it up against. I had a monitor downstairs at the old place, and I just sat it right there, like 5 feet from the treadmill. Different games. I had PlayStation, Switch, I had a dock, and I had PlayStation right there. 2K is kind of
All these people who never recognized the song yesterday. Listen to the feeling.
They sing it much better than Nate just tried.
Well, only Paul McCartney sings it. I am not Paul McCartney. I sing it
No,
not
you are not.
Shout out to Jono. Shout out to Jono.
My treadmill is in my
We think we have a Hanson, a nice little box sticker here. And then we have Fox then saying, you think they'll use them for the pictures for movies going forward or just for cutscenes? Well, we're not really sure what they're going to do for now. But maybe they'll show us like you said, Nate. Maybe something like that. Maybe the full-on to make the Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
Lisa is right. I was the walrus.
Galaxian says, RG team will watch a video of someone recording the Mario movie with their 240p phone camera, then fall asleep halfway through.
Goddamn right I will.
Just go pay the $11, go see it.
Because then you gotta get a drink, then you gotta get a snack, and now you're talking like $25.
Carry it in under your big coat you'll probably wear in there looking like a weirdo at a kid's movie by yourself.
Exactly, see? Then you got people looking at you and shit. No, bro. Ain't doing
Sean will
it.
be outside the theater in his beanie, smoking his friggin' cigarette, looking at the kids because I would hear it. You want to come back to my arcade?
No, I don't fucking have my people over here.
You look like single mother thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Hey, you know, you're a little kid. You play in the arcade. That's different.
What theater are you getting a ticket, drink, and snacks for $25?
Is that cheap?
Yes,
Yeah,
my theater. I have not seen a movie. I haven't paid for a movie that's under $19 minimum for the ticket itself.
Oh, out of your goddamn mind.
The one near me is like $9. So.
Well, good for you. I have one theater near me, and it's $19 for a bare minimum.
No.
Passes.
I don't buy scans. Sorry.
True. Scans? My grandmother gives me those every year. So
And old people always get scans.
Aaron says French dub is the best in my opinion. It sounds the most like the voice of Mario games, especially in the Mario game, especially Mario, even if it is in French. Gravity says, I still think Kitty Crisp makes a great anime. Kitty Crisp is pretty cool. Game. Timon says, what's the final sales number for Metroid Dread? Are we getting Balan Wonderworld? Well, we don't have any update for sales numbers, and the only Hail Mary left is for the September 30th report, and that is out the first week in November. But as Sean said, because I went back and looked, and we did agree on that report, I checked. As in Sean's words, it doesn't matter if we wait till then because we're not going to mention it anyway.
I think that the 1 year anniversary thing that they did the other day, I think that would have been a good opportunity. Like, well, why not? You're making a post about it to say you got this new thing. Thank the people who bought the game. Say thank you to the 3+ million people who bought the game, assuming that it did sell 3 million. You know, for buying the game. Like, it's just so weird because every other company, you know, does things like that. You're celebrating the game, you're celebrating the anniversary. But I'll probably exactly. I'll still play Blonde anyway, so it'll be my Christmas gift to you. Like, watch TV.
Yeah, saw me.
I have a big box two of them. I get the Metroid Dread one pretty easily. So. DP Gaming Adams says it seems very immature for a dude in his 30s to swear an active voice movie targeted at 8-year-olds.
Wow.
I mean, I don't.
It wasn't me this time. That's
Well, yeah, he's making fun of me. Okay, well, you're watching a podcast of 30-year-olds complaining about video games, bud.
Jordan's
so
not 30. Jordan's the
MBG
right
wishes he was 30.
Yeah,
True.
I'm 40.
It's always a weird thing where people
Catching up with you,
online,
MBG.
people online complaining about what you're doing online. Hey, bitch, it's Saturday night. Why aren't you balls deep in some hooker? Like, get the fuck out of here if you don't like it.
Well, why aren't you?
Goodness.
Because I'm a lonely man. And also a girl sending me nudes right now, so I'm basically doing it.
This is from Aaron says, hashtag Tom Holland for Link.
I'd watch it.
What about how's the guy who played Spider-Man looking nowadays?
That's
That's
Tom
Tom Holland.
No, the good Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield.
Tobey Maguire.
No,
Tobey Maguire,
yeah,
Garfield?
Toby.
Toby's a little rough. Yeah.
He's a little bit too old to play.
What about Ferris Bueller?
Did
How's he
you, hold on,
looking?
you still haven't watched the latest Spider-Man movie?
No, I watched Spider-Man 2 today though.
Whoa.
He's
As I-
slowly catching up.
As I was playing it on my Steam Deck.
You gotta watch the latest Spider-Man though. That Tobey
No, I
Maguire's
watched
in
the
it.
good ones,
But Tobey Maguire's in that one.
so I don't. Oh, okay, then I'll check it out.
Yeah, check it out. It's the latest one.
What's
We
is it
told
on?
you this last time, and
Is
you
it on
asked the
Disney?
same
He's
question.
in with,
Is
he's
it
in
on?
with all
It's
the
not.
other Spider-Men, Sean.
Is it on the Disney?
Is it?
Not yet.
What is it? It's Sony. It's Sony's
Sony owns
movie.
it.
Yeah,
so
this is a
where
return to
is it?
Sony.
It's on something, isn't it? Hold on. What is
It's
it on?
on like Stars or something like that. Right?
I'll find a bootleg. Don't worry.
I probably have an extra digital copy. We went over this last week.
Yeah,
The
just
same
do it.
conversation.
Slide
Dude,
show
no
me.
memory shot.
You said you didn't want to watch it because of reasons.
Yeah, but he just watched Spider-Man 2, so now he's on like that Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, and I'm playing Spider-Man on the Steam Deck again.
Oh,
when he's
shit.
much older.
Still Spider-Man to me. If I want to watch Willy Wonka, I'm gonna watch fucking Gene Wilder, not Johnny Depp. Even though I love Johnny.
Check it out then, because they have him in there. So and he's in action. He's actually Spider-Man. So. Sean says Metroid live action. Also, Mario movie has the voice actor listed. Are we sure he won't have some voiceovers like Here We Go in it? Or maybe they have Wario. Maybe Wario's in the movie.
He's also just a talented voice actor who can voice anything in the film. It doesn't have to be anything related to Mario as a character.
Why the fuck am I not the voice of Mario?
Yeah, right. Zoop says Spirits Within was the first time I heard of Final Fantasy.
Fucking bitches.
I feel like I have to apologize for Square.
Who else is in here? Is Justin in here?
So bad, huh?
Is that you that just joined, Brendan?
Metal Gear Solid says
Did you just join?
movie with only Nolan North and Troy Baker.
Did I just join?
Scott says
Yeah.
if you play them, what is everyone's favorite?
Did you just join the call?
I feel like everyone's gonna say Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Elden Ring.
I'm not looking.
Elden Ring.
Yeah, Elden
Oh.
Ring. I have so many hundreds of hours in it.
Sekiro was
Is anybody else in here?
Demon Souls, the original Demon Souls. I'm old.
There's Mitch in here,
Demon Souls.
Oh,
but he's
I was
muted.
muted.
Triple
Okay.
Fall says RDT needs to take the L on
I've been
Metroid
in a
Dread.
game this whole time, so I haven't been able to look.
I was gonna say that. we whatever.
Sure.
He's been in here for like
Jonathan.
Thank
probably
you.
like 10 minutes.
Peeps, that's 12 months. Sony has
What a
planned.
stinky
How many do you
fucker.
think will flop?
Switch background.
I'll go 50%.
50-50, baby. Let's go.
I think that's a conservative.
Just give me the remote.
I think so. They have to be. I'm sure they have internal numbers like.
Weird hearing Michael K
thinking
talk
half
about
of them or
football.
So are gonna fail. I mean, they're gonna try to make all of them work, but never mind. They're like, well, if we get a return from 5 of them, we'll be okay. Georgie says, you guys don't think Sony is padding their lineup with these remasters? Death Stranding, Uncharted 4. Sony didn't have their show to reveal 2023 lineup. We're.
That's why the pitch comp sucks, and we need to go back to traditional signs.
Do
What?
that soon. It'd be a good idea. Dex says thoughts on PlayStation Stars.
Definitely
PlayStation
Yankees.
Stars is weird.
It's not good for the
I
game.
have
I
it.
don't understand it. Yeah,
What is
I have it.
PlayStation Stars?
It's a
What is it?
reward. It's a reward program.
It's on your phone. It lives on your phone. And
Oh,
I signed up for it.
Why ain't you watching my stream,
Buy
Brendan?
stuff, you get coins or.
I'm watching a playoff baseball game, and that's pretty fucking important.
Not as important as this.
You also get digital collectibles. So
You're
I
right,
have
I got money on these
a
shits.
telescope.
Got money.
And a T-Rex.
Yeah.
That, man.
They
What can you
look-
do with those?
Fucking the
I can
pads
show
and the
you.
Yankees, baby.
They look terrible. Like it looks
Go
like
Padres!
the worst NFT thing you've ever seen.
Blake Snell's like fucking sick as a goat.
Damn.
Save file thing?
NFTs?
It looks worse than that. Actually, looks cool, and that's what they should do.
Oh,
Give
fuck.
PS2 save files. What
it
are
a
we
shelf, and it looks like
What are you playing though?
terrible Photoshop job of this
Gundam.
Sure.
pasted on top of this bookshelf that I have.
Can you like add it to your profile?
No,
Are they NFTs?
no. They give them to you, and they said specifically not NFTs. They give them to you, and Apparently they'll eventually get to your PlayStation, but right now it's still on the phone. So I can look you up, I believe, on my phone to see this stuff. Yes. But they have campaigns that like play this game and you get this collectible.
Seems been going this for years.
Microsoft has a reward system where you get an achievement, you get a reward point.
Run this play case there.
Oh.
It's out of Photoshop 95.
No, they just
Come on,
give you a
Padres.
checkbox and fulfill
Get out of
your-
this shit.
They just give you your tally, and then you, for 8,700 points, you get $10 to basically anything you want. You get it from Amazon, McDonald's, Grubhub, Sean Bean for free.
I have a picture of it. I can put it in this book. This is from Truly Epic saying, "Would the reaction better or worse if Mario was voiced by?"
Except for baseball's getting loud, boy. Building up.
No fucking Brits. All right. You know my Paul.
Hoskins was British.
He's right there.
No Brits and no horses.
But Bob Hoskins was British.
Yeah, they let me that.
And I zonked the fuck out earlier.
In the console generation, will we see AAA titles?
I was
reach
so
8K
tired, I
quality?
was dizzy, dude. You ever get that way?
I see dynamic resolution.
Not really.
In this console generation, probably racing games. Maybe a racing game.
That's what I was saying, like, when I was like, man, you ever feel it in your body? Like, all over your body?
The importer says, I want the Gravity Rush games on PC, 4K, 60 FPS. That actually might be something Sony tries with that. Gerald says it's too early to make fun of Dreamcast.
Fucking pitcher needs to learn how to breathe.
Oh yeah, I know I'm the one person who did totally hate that game. Mock me all you want, I promise you're not offended. I had a surprising amount of fun playing that, but I know I'm the only one.
P. Dudley, no message here. Oh, then P. Dudley says, what
Dude, how many pitches have been pitched? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Besides Pokemon, what good turn-based
5,
games
6,
are there?
7, 9. 9 pitch at bat, all fucking fastballs.
Yeah, all the Dragon Warrior, so I've been playing
Look.
with clients. Again, like playing a lot of clients right here. There is a surprising amount. It is weird playing
Hell
a bunch of
yeah.
Game Boy games, how big of a step above Pokemon is. But yeah, here, let me open up. my
Legend of the River King is good. I like those games.
Okay.
Oh
That's good.
shit.
Survival Kids.
Go to the
Dragon
fucking
Warrior,
other game real quick
Final
again.
Fantasy Adventure, and then
I know this is
Final Fantasy
exciting to
Adventure
hear,
games,
but-
Link's
There's a
Awakening.
Crystallis on Game Boy Color too.
Oh,
There's a bunch.
Kyle
actually.
Schwarber
Shin
just
Megami
fucking
Tensei has
knocked
a good
that
fan
shit
translation.
fucking
Star Ocean has a good fan
in the
translation.
smithereens.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff for sure.
Strawman says,
Whoa.
Metroid Dread released 1 year ago today. How are the bet results? We'll find out eventually.
Well, yeah.
3 weeks. We'll find out one way or the other, I guess. Then Dougal says, was Dreamcast guy on crack when rating Saints Row and Cyberpunk 2077?
Well,
They're after you on Saints Row.
Dun,
I don't know. Sometimes months later, someone's like, wait a minute, this guy gave
Yeah,
it an
part of
8,
your
everyone
job
else
is
gave it a
having that
4.
remote
You know,
is
does that
going
mean they
back
watched
and
your video
forth like
recently, so
every
it's
2
getting the
seconds.
reviews? Right,
Just
yeah.
saying.
I have no idea. Or maybe somebody made a hate video. Occasionally someone will make a hate video and they'll dig through like 400 videos and go, here's a score I don't like from 6 years ago. And it's like, well, touch grass. I also think it's funny that the fucking
What are you saying,
Cyberpunk thing
bitch?
of that I enjoyed my first playthrough of
Boy, you
Cyberpunk,
ain't
so I
a
gave it a good
true
score, and then it turned out
fan.
to be a glitchy game, and I was like, oh, let me back.
Not even a true fan.
Cyberpunk.
Yep.
And
I
then
just
Matt
hear
and
no,
kind of like,
no,
well,
no,
you
no,
like
no,
it
no.
bad, and I like it now, so it means I'm right and you're still wrong. It's like, okay.
Jack says, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, mobile, Chromecast, and Apple TV.
From
will
Banjo
One
be able
Piece.
to run the Super Mario movie, but not the Switch.
Banjo?
That's interesting. Can
What?
they? I wonder if they get.
Maybe you
Orange
just
Side
suck
Halo
at singing, dog.
Can they have a
You
movie
stuck at
section
here?
on the Switch where you buy it and watch it on your Switch?
Probably.
It depends. I think they might do something.
Watch,
I don't
it'll
see
be
why
the
You're
only
saying-
place. It'll be a
Trying
deal
to
where it's
play
the only
that
place it's allowed to be
chivalry,
streamed
bro?
is through a Nintendo Switch, and it's only if
Maybe
you
after
be
these
online.
games.
Yeah,
Oh,
connected
man.
online.
Fuck
That's one of their
those.
bonus. Plus, getting the
Man,
bonus
shit,
to
both
get
are
the
at
add-on
fucking
pack.
one's on the bottom of the 7th with bases loaded. One's at the top of the 7th with man on 3rd.
Fucking stupid. RGT has no business judging which older wrestling game is best, and he is clearly blinded by nostalgia. Stick to your mainstream console games, Sonny.
Motherfucker, I
Yeah,
have been
bro.
playing wrestling games since you were swimming around your dad's ball sack.
I don't
bro.
have my old TV anymore.
Trust me.
Huh?
I love Here Comes the Pain. I think No Mercy is a more complete wrestling game as far as a simulation style is concerned.
This is from John O again. It was for a bodybuilding competition.
If you had a PC, you'd be able to
Okay.
watch the game
And
and play at
the-
the same time.
ECHT Joy-Cons made it more comfortable. I was hoping Sean
What?
had a good story.
PC.
Never a dull moment. Appreciate you all.
What?
Thanks, John.
Fuck PC.
And Vidius says, Danny DeVito would make a better Mario, just saying.
True.
Would be pretty solid.
What about Al Pacino?
He's too old, man.
Al Pacino.
It's just
Yeah.
a voice.
His voice.
You can
got
hear
that-
old man
He's
voice.
got
Yeah,
that
there's,
old
That's
there's
who?
violence in his
now.
voice that I
Mario.
don't know if Mario would be cool.
That'd be a badass
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
Mario.
If you
Oh
talk
god,
about
no,
Dog Day Afternoon,
Pacino.
if you're talking Dog Day Afternoon, Pacino, absolutely.
Little
Absolutely.
toad guy
We're away.
I love that movie.
Luigi, this is
Awesome.
fucked up
I
dog
mean, that's all-
guy.
I mean, look at the cast of The Sopranos. You could have got any one of them.
Oh,
You could have got
Fucked
John
up looking
Turturro.
toad over here.
If Gandolfini was still around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You notice the older Al Pacino gets, the louder he
Gandolfini's
gets.
son is pretty much a clone of his. Let's get him to play Mario.
I guess.
He has the looks, but I don't think he sounds just like him.
Well, he's also still pretty young, I think.
Yeah.
We're moving to our
Parker, you ever watch
top of the Need
Scarface?
for Speed Unbound.
Like a long time
Now-
ago.
Forgot about it.
December,
like it?
December 2nd. It is out in
Wouldn't
less than 2
bad, I
months.
guess.
So they reveal
Fuck
a real
you.
quick run up to this one.
Wasn't
We
bad.
heard about it.
Say that again.
Rumored it's
It
been
wasn't
leaked.
bad.
It's been all over. I was getting a little concerned they weren't even going to show it or something got delayed.
Have you ever seen The Godfather?
Getting kind of late into the year.
No.
They were just going to get it out there. And by the way, December
Sure.
is kind of filling up.
Mitch, have you ever seen The Godfather?
Games.
Yeah.
I
Sure. All three?
I don't typically remember this many games show up in December because it seems like in the first half we're getting quite a few of them with the
first two are
Protocol, Need for Speed, Final Fantasy. Just off the top of my
I guess
head.
it is a trilogy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Need for Speed
Yeah.
Unbound. PS5,
But the
Xbox
first
Series,
two are
and
really
PC,
all that
so they
matters,
are not
apparently.
making a PS4 and an Xbox One version. They are just going
Why?
current gen.
Because they
which is
say
great
the
because
third
that
one
will
is like
allow them
meh.
to get 4K
Plus
60 out of it.
the
Whereas
the,
I kind of think if they went
1 and 2
and
are
had to
based
work
off of
on
the book.
PS4 and the Xbox One, might have, I don't know, messed with development. Need for Speed Heat is
My
still
streams
30 FPS
from last
to this
night got
day,
copyrighted
keep in mind.
because I played that music.
I
Open world
figured
for
that.
sure. They say
Oh,
it's
yeah, I
returning
did
street
too.
racing
I
roots.
just
I'm
wanted
hoping
to-
that it's like
It was only because of
that's kinda what
Ado.
I'm hoping they're and
Funnily
it's
enough,
that
the
style,
spill
doesn't it?
canvas
That
was one,
Need for Speed Underground style from what they're
and
showing
Looks like it.
off.
Looks
Yep.
good.
some
Looks good. I'm
other
into it.
Japanese
I'm
song.
gonna get it.
So it took him off.
I'm picking it up. I'm excited for Need for Speed.
No,
Like,
well,
Heat was good.
like muted the. It just
I'm looking
basically
forward to it.
disabled
By
the
way, Heat was
streams.
$3
He was
the other
great.
day.
I mean, you can watch them in the moment, but you can't like go back and
I'm
watch
gonna
them.
pay for this new one then.
Nah, the new one. There's one
Damn.
thing I really like.
I ain't buying no damn Need for
So,
Speed.
guy-
Is it 70?
It is 70.
A guy I had met on Apex.
Here's the problem with the game.
He commented on the video of the one where I was playing Chivalry. He's like, "Man, you're always. Why are we always playing the same games?" He said he just started playing Chivalry on his Xbox.
Yeah, that's my thing is I'm gonna buy it for
'Cause it's
content.
the
And
newest
I
game.
am excited for it though, and I haven't been excited for Need for Speed in a long time.
I thought he was talking about
By
Gundam.
the time that you get home and put it in your, and it'll be discounted by the time that you get home and even start playing it. Y'all gotta be crazy to sit there and spend 70 on Need
Gundam
for Speed.
sucks.
Here's the
Y'all know
problem.
that game's gonna
I
be
ain't
discounted
played it.
quickly.
It's the cover
It looks
art.
like it sucks.
The cover art is a problem.
You
They used
suck.
a
You're just
motherfucking
biased.
190E
Against
Evo
what?
2 on the
First
cover
person
art.
shooters.
How could they
Did not know
True.
RGT has
Damn
been in
it.
the market
Dude.
for a 190E.
I don't know why you hate first-person shooters so much.
Just to have it,
'Cause they're
maybe tracking and
fucking
stuff like that. And
full
there
of
was a
sweats.
190E in the
I've
northern
told you.
part of Virginia. that
Any
was
competitive
good-ass
game is
price
full
that I
of
should've picked
sweat.
up, and I slept on it, and then
Tryhards
it
and
sold.
shit.
And now 190Es all of a sudden, because you got ASAP Rocky in
Plus,
the game, and he's driving the 190E.
shit is jaded.
$1,000 for one of those cars.
You say that,
We're
but
not
fucking
Evo,
League of
we're not
Legends
Evo,
is the
we're not
sweatiest
Cosmos.
fucking game in the world.
This
Not
motherfucker
even a
plays League of
first-person
Legends.
shooter.
Power Director or something.
A lot of people that don't admit to it.
Motherfuckers are rooting the
I don't
market.
play League of Legends.
You probably do. You're just not admitting to it.
I ain't trying to judge the game by that.
I don't
man.
even
Come
have
on,
the
yo.
fucking appropriate
Literally
software
choosing a
to
box
fucking
by
run
the
it.
game by the cover.
I'm not, no, the game's gonna be good. No, the game's
not
gonna be
that
good. But I
demanding of a
gotta
game.
You can
say
play it
something
on your
about
Mac,
y'all
I
here
bet.
trying to spend $70
Could I?
on Need for Speed game when
Let's
these
play
games
it.
have historically dropped.
I'm not
very
playing League of
quickly
Legends. This game
after
sucks.
launch, like damn near almost instant.
Actually, is that
So,
that
I'm
one
just
game
saying,
I'll make
where
I'll
like
put it out
video.
there.
I'll make a video
It's like a bunch
reviewing
of
it, and
trading
it'll cut the
cards and
price
shit?
in half, and I'll make a video
No,
looking shocked.
that's-
and I'll go,
that's
"They stole
Hearthstone."
$40. EA
Why are we
stole
not
$40
playing
from
Overwatch
me."
2 though?
Hey,
Play. Where y'all getting it on? PlayStation or Xbox?
Is it
I'm on
crossplay?
PS5.
I'll go PS5 because I got the wheel for the PS5.
Well, what's gonna happen is on the Xbox, if you have Game Pass Ultimate,
I have
they'll
it
drop into
downloaded.
the EA, with their
League of
EA
Legends
Play
has
thing,
trading
and you get it
cards in
for
it,
10 hours.
doesn't
Gabe,
it?
basically, to
Gabe
play
wants.
it if you
I don't
want.
have Xbox
No,
on
it
wheel,
doesn't.
though, bro.
Gabe wants to
Oh,
play
I was looking at
Overwatch.
wheels because Forza's coming up.
They're like the
Low
characters
Tech, you
are
did
playing
not
cards
fucking
or
buy
some
that.
shit,
Wait, is
right?
it free?
No.
How much was it? If you bought it, what was the list price of it? And
Yeah,
what
it's
year
free.
was it?
You're not mad, John.
It's like 50 gigabytes though, so we're definitely
Yeah,
not playing
yourself.
tonight.
We do need to figure out what,
Yeah.
what system
No, I
though,
can get it
because it's
ready,
gonna
though.
be. Well, no, it's crossplay.
What you gonna
So it's
install, you
offline single
motherfucker?
player, and there will also
These
be
nuts.
crossplay.
Well, I'm
So-
getting
I
it.
bet you were
I'll
gonna
get it.
uninstall those
I
nuts.
want it. I want it. Wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
No balls,
And
as.
new physics system.
No
Of course, the visual
balls.
style is
Pussy,
interesting.
no
It's kind of
balls.
realistic, but then it has these shades of.
You're a pussy, no balls.
It's been described. I think
The-
Jeff Grubb said at one point, anime,
The
cartoony.
graffiti approach
visuals.
that kind of
Graffiti
leans into
approach.
the Spider-Verse feel of animation.
Yeah.
Reese Hoskins
Yes.
I'll be
sucks.
honest, when I first
visuals.
there were
Mom
leaked
sucks.
pictures of it going around a couple months ago, and I thought it looked like shit. But now seeing it in motion and stuff in 4K, it actually looks really
Got it.
cool.
Oh, it looks
Yep.
good though. I really
Yeah.
like Need for Speed Underground and Underground.
my
2.
favorite.
What the
And
hell
it's
are you
giving me
up with?
Underground 2 is my favorite Need for Speed
Same,
game, and
yep.
it's totally giving me Underground vibes.
The
when I
sweatiest
bought
fucking
Underground
game
when it was
there
like
is.
$15, you know
He's
what I'm
nuts.
saying? But yeah, this is what I'm
Yeah, they are pretty sweaty, huh?
I'm definitely gonna be getting it at some point because it does give me those
So am I.
Underground vibes. So yeah, I'm gonna pick it up.
We'll see how it. We'll see how
Last
it is when it
night I got
drops
home from the show and I
in
took
December,
off my
December
pants and I
2nd,
took
so
a
not
leak and I was
too
like,
much
damn,
longer.
there's some
And
sweaty
like I said,
balls
if you have-
down there.
Technically, if you're chatting, you have Game
Spurs.
Pass Ultimate, you'll get 10 hours, I believe, because
You
they've
got the
done that
EA
with almost
plug
every
on
game.
here. Anyone got the EA plug for a review
I love
copy?
Valheim's
I
updates. 'cause
used
only
to.
like
I bet I figured out.
4.3
I think they have a.
Ah, now OJ's interested. Hey, Nate.
Oh, that I'm interested.
megabits.
I don't like giving EA my
Megabytes.
money.
No,
I don't like
megabits.
EA. I even was
What's
apprehensive
Valheim?
about giving them my money with Mass Effect. I was angry. Here,
Actually,
take
it's
it.
crossplay, right?
I got one of those weird.
Walk out.
It's not even
You know
out
how
on
Ubisoft
consoles.
has that weird like
Yes, it
automated
is. It's
standalone press site. EA
Oh,
does
that's
that, I
not.
think.
That's
Oh yeah, so
PC.
Callisto
Game Pass.
Protocol will be 70 on that day too.
So,
Mm-hmm. And we know that's going game of the year.
That's day one.
Don't you worry
Oh,
about it, Brendan. You
70
can't
Need
play
for
it.
Speed. Need for Speed will be a longer game.
What
though.
is
More
it, though?
content, Need for Speed.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's like a
they said
Viking
15
survival
hours,
game.
Callisto, and there's branching
That's
paths.
perfect.
You
So
know, it's probably less
yeah,
than
more
that. then.
adult.
But Callisto's got
Minecraft.
like multiple mechanics. and
I
stuff.
bet
What-
Callisto's
I
10
mean,
hours.
But
Callisto
you,
is
it's
different.
got like
Need for
missions and
Speed's a
shit.
racing
you do.
game, so it's like
Yeah, I
it's
think they
different.
said they said
Just
12 to
go with the flow.
14, and then it could go longer due to the branching paths. They basically want everyone to play the game because the odds
Or
of
Chivalry
all of us
kind of
playing
have
the
a
game
story
exactly
mode
the
to it.
same way will be low.
Okay.
So it's going to encourage
Mm.
like replays so you can see different
You know
stuff.
what we should
and
do?
all
We
of
should
that.
put Call of the
Yeah,
Wild
but
on.
That's
the
the
hunter.
start of a fantastic
Go out there and go hunting for some bears.
trilogy of games. You have
Call of
Callisto
the
Protocol in
Wild.
December, Dead Space in January, Resident Evil 4 in March.
Yep.
I've
Is that
actually,
that hunting game?
Fantastic
I had it
horror.
downloaded
Gonna
and
be
played it
good.
a little bit. It's
Yeah,
not
so-
bad.
And Need for
Is
Speed
it
there
that
too.
hunting
Look at
game?
that.
Uh huh.
There we go.
Sure.
Just want to give a little bit of love for Dragon Quest Treasures coming out in December.
I
as
know,
well.
I don't
think
like
that game's gonna
hunting.
be fun.
I don't like Dead
Oh,
or
I'll be
Alive
playing
either.
that.
Yeah.
Really?
I get to.
RPG 85 here,
Man,
sir.
fuck you.
RPG85.
What's
You
so
know,
fun about
so
killing a
good to
poor
see you.
innocent
Have you
animal?
failed yet?
No, I like Dragon Quest
Shut
games.
the hell up.
Dude,
And you
I'm
did it
playing
all-
Dragon
and you
Quest
did it
7
all
right
the
now for the
time
first
on
time on my
fucking
3DS. Holy shit, that game
Red
is
Dead.
fucking hilarious.
By the way, I think I'm gonna end
No,
up with that platinum.
those aren't
and
poor
Dio
innocent
failed
animals.
max
Half
without
those
even
animals
trying, 'cause
attack
Oh,
you.
I know.
Just beat the game and get the level 50, and it's